The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is Friday, April 12th, 2024. I am your host, Scott Lewis. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarberChair Scott. You can follow the Barbers Chat Network at BarbersChatNet on Twitter and Instagram. Follow H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram, man. And of course, get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can visit them at pillarsclub.co, or you can hit them up on Instagram at pillars_club, or visit any of their 3 locations in the Chicagoland area, man. We've got a big show for y'all, man. Of course, we also got the Patreon exclusive local hour. You can subscribe right now to the Barbers Chat Network Patreon at the barberchatnet.com. No, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. Get into with all the different packages on there. You got the top 10 and the $10 Barbershop All Access, man, where you get everything that's on the Barbers Chat Network Patreon. And we got a new show announcement for the Patreon that should be coming for y'all. Announcement will be dropping on Monday. Check out for that. And if you just want I'm Not Gonna Hold You content, then you just need to go to the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, which is only $5, a $5 holler, man. I've got I'll introduce my crew in just a minute, man. We've got a different crew today. Not different crew, but like not the same guys we got as usual. Of course, we got Dante and Bang in the house, but Courtney is on PTO and Mikey is on PTO. They will be back very soon, man. But I'm going to start this episode off with my sound off, man. My sound off today, as we all know, this is a sports show. We talk mainly sports on this show. We're not really a rap debating show or anything like that. We will get more into this topic on Monday during our culture segment with the homie Larry Legend. But I could not go a show without saying this. After the events of the past week, if you watched the show on Monday, me, Bane, Dante, Leary, we all voiced our displeasure from what J. Cole did over the weekend. But after hearing Future and Metro Boomin's newest album last night, we still don't trust you, which is a hilarious fucking album title. I just got to say, I had a message for Mr. Aubrey, Mr. Drake, and that is, you got to respond, brother. You got to respond. Niggas is outside your door right now. This ain't even really got nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar anymore. This has something to do with everybody. You got Kendrick at your dome. You got Future at your dome. You got ASAP. You got Cole and is on the album. You know, you got all these guys coming at you, and you need to say something. Protect your fort, man. You got it. You have the crown right now in hip hop. You have the number 1 spot. And this is what happens when people come with your spot. You got to knock them all down. Now, we all know what the real heavyweight title fight is. We all know you can dispose of Future and all these niggas very, very quickly. Wouldn't take a lot. And I love Future. Wouldn't take a lot. But that man from Compton is going to take a little bit of a battle. He's been waiting for that battle, and he's been waiting for the response. I don't know when it's going to come. I've heard that the song exists. We've heard Joe Budden has said that. We've heard from different people in the music industry who said that this does exist. I even heard from people I know that the disc does exist. When is it dropping? It needs to drop soon. I don't. If it comes 4, 5, 6 months from now, yeah, we'll still listen because he's Drake, and Drake has his pulse on everything. Whenever Drake drops anything, time stops. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like we won't be listening for it when it drops, but it needs to come very soon. That's all I'm gonna say about that. We'll get into further detail on that on Summer Sessions next week because I also want to talk a little bit more because a lot of people are like, well, they're jumping him and that says like you're trying to do all this for one man. Look, man, we grew up in a different era. I remember when 5 niggas got on the song to diss Ja Rule at one time. It was like 50, Busta, Eminem, they Obi Trice, nigga. They had 100 people on one song dissing Ja Rule. This happens before. Like, we're not gonna sit up here and make Drake a sympathetic figure. Get in the booth, man. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So we're gonna move on to the sports. We're gonna bring in the rest of the crew today to be hosting me today. Of course, we got the one and only Dante, man. You can follow him on Twitter at OctoberZone Tay. He is co-producer of the show. He's also president of the Barbers Chat Network. You can follow JR Bang at all social media platforms at JR Bang. And we've got our homie Mike. You can follow Mike at Please Say the Baby on Twitter and Instagram. We've got the homie Toastin in the house, man. You can follow him at TSNMKND on Twitter. What's going on, fellas? How's everybody doing on this Friday?
Man, I'm about to go see some Japanese wrestling.
Bang is putting in a half day today. He was originally not going to come on the show today.
Yeah, now I'm going to Wintrust to see New Japan Pro Wrestling, Windy City Riot, with Hood. So I'm gonna see what's up. The John Moxley won the bleed and shit. For those who do watch wrestling, if you don't know who John Moxley is, he was Dean Ambrose in the WWE, but he left the WWE to bleed. So I expect to see some white people bleeding as they get their ass whooped by some Japanese wrestlers and shit.
Mike, man, what's going on, brother? How you feeling? You on mute, dog. I'm gonna have a fine jar. I'm gonna have a fine jar.
My bad.
$5. There we go.
Hey, whatever. I thought you do it, but no, everything good, man. Blessed to be here. J. Cole, I would never listen to any of the songs again. I wasn't the hugest J. Cole fan. I know he can rap, but yeah, I mean, next time he says something, it's just gonna be like, we don't believe you. So
yeah, sit down, nigga. Sit down. Tosin, what's good, brother? How you feeling? What's everything going out there in NYC?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain. Like Mike said, I don't like J. Cole anymore, so you know.
Hey, how was the wreckage from the earthquake? Like, how's the wreckage?
So when the earthquake happened, I was literally in a meeting, and I was like, "Yo, wait, what the fuck? Is the ground shaking?" Because I've never experienced an earthquake in my life. And my coworker, like, she ran underneath her table. I was like, "Yo, it's not that bad," but it's cool, man. You know, New Yorkers, we are just gonna keep talking about this shit forever. Like it never.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
New York strong.
I feel like Denzel and not Training, but Remember the Titans. Not so fun anymore, is it? No, it's not fun anymore. Not even a little bit.
New York strong. New York strong.
I'd always said that like I'd take an earthquake over snow, but after experiencing that shit, nah, man, give me a snowstorm any day.
I'm gonna be real, man. I got used to it. Like when it's like when it first happened, first earthquake I was in, it scared the crap out of me. Like I was ready to move, like back home, same day. I'm like, nah, nigga. Like there was one 5 years ago, which me and Pappy like to call the Zion quake, and I say that because it was Zion's debut in summer league. The quake actually happened in Vegas, but the quake was so big that you could feel it in LA, and that was also. It was like 3 or 4 aftershock quakes after that. And it was a crazy night. It was also the same night that Kawhi and PG signed the Clippers. So that was the biggest ones. But after a while, you get used to it. Remember, Dante, we did the show like a month ago, and there was an earthquake going on right as the show. I'm like, oh, ground shaking.
I know. No, that shit was crazy. And don't just play it off like it was regular. Like the nigga camera was moving. His shit was doing like this. And bro was like, oh, that's an earthquake. Anyway, so we're gonna play in this party in Chicago. I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, man.
That's
I got used to it, man. But Dante, how you feeling, man? What's going on in A?
I'm solid, bro. It's funny y'all was talking about J. Cole because like I actually was about to put my Dreamville hoodie on and I was like, I can't even wear this shit no more.
Nope,
Like
can't do that.
Damn.
I
Can't do
have no
that.
desire to
Absolutely not.
wear it. It's crazy.
Can't do
I'm gonna
that.
shoot him a little bail on the song though, because I think that song a little old, but that's also very clever and a chess move by Future and Metro to put that on there after this nigga apologized. So yeah, I fuck with the album a lot. Got a lot of Hendrix vibes to it.
It
And
sounds like Hendrix too to me.
niggas putting out some good music, bro.
Sound like Hendrix. We gotta give Metro his love too, because Metro's really producing real hard, man. But let's get into our first topic of the day, man. This one we gonna start with Mr. OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson passed away last night at the age of 76 from cancer. Something I don't think a lot of people knew that he had. And that led to a conversation, which we all know Twitter is not not a place for nuance, like at all. There's heaven and there's hell on Twitter. There's no in between. And so I wanted to talk about OJ Simpson's complicated legacy today to start off the show, because I do believe that this is a situation where both people on whatever side of the fence you're on with OJ have strong opinions, and rightfully so. I'm not here to say, or say which way you should lean. I'm just thinking it's a complicated situation, because you got to understand where a lot of us, everybody on this show is at least in their 30s, and I'm gonna go to Bang next, because Bang has he's the elder statesman on the show, and I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying you're the elder statesman on
Nigga,
the
when
show.
you say elder, damn, nigga.
What's the better way you want me to say it?
Nigga, OG or something.
He's an OG, okay.
Nigga, seasoned veteran motherfucker.
See, the seasoned veteran.
Seasoned veteran, fam.
He's
Give
a
me that.
seasoned veteran. With J.R. Smith and Mello, he was Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, give me that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
The savvy veteran and shit.
The savvy veteran. That's what we're gonna go with. The savvy veteran. My bad. Not seasoned. The savvy veteran. But OJ Simpson, man, for me, I'm 35 years old. I'll be 36 this year. And that was the first life memory that first life events that I can remember. I don't remember the exact details of it because I was 5-6 years old. But what I do remember was it was in the summer. 1994, and my cousin would always come in town and stay with us when he was, off school, because he went to Northern. And I remember he always had the room that had the air conditioning in the house, and so I would always be in there. We were watching basketball, or whatever. And all I know is everybody ran to my parents' room. They were like, "Oh, there's a chase going on." Now I didn't know this was OJ Simpson. I knew nothing about the chase. I just knew I saw a white car speeding down the expressway in the middle of a basketball game. Now that you go coming off that and you do more research, obviously when I got older and I saw just how great of a football player he was at USC, when he was in Buffalo playing with the Bills, and then of course his good career where he went into acting, went into broadcasting, was very good at that. And that's why even when he joined Cameron and Mace's It Is What It Is podcast this year, a lot of people were like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, well, OJ, before the situation, obviously he was a good sports commentator. So from
he had a job, fam. That was still his job.
Like, exactly. So like he was able to, he still has good takes on that. Now, my thing is this: if you're somebody, I'm not with the revisionist history just because somebody died. I'm not with that. But I do feel like in this particular situation, it's like he was. Now we're not going to debate about whether you think he's guilty or not. That's a whole nother conversation. 30-year-old conversation at this point. I personally don't think he did it, but that's just my opinion from all the stuff that I've seen and read, and of course
that's wild as fuck.
Amazing. I don't think he did it. I think he knows who did it. I don't think he himself did it. He'd have been most strategic killer of all time, I believe, if he actually did it. But of course, we know you got the racism effect into it as well. So I understand why some people want to crush him and why some people don't want to crush him. But I feel like with this situation, it's like it's the only situation. I feel like whether there's been a situation where he was called guilty and nobody cares. It's like murderer, and so I feel like that's where it needs to be a little bit of nuance in that kind of conversation. Where I think that whatever side you're on, I feel like that you have the right to be on that side, and I don't think you should be condemned for whatever side that you're on, because I feel like it's a multifaceted situation. But I'm gonna go to Bang first, our seasoned vet, to give us more of a
savvy
vet. more
You
of
know what I'm
a
saying?
a more of approach for somebody who's more rounded for it than we were.
Man, when that happened, that was first of all, when the verdict happened, they wheeled the TVs inside of the classroom and they showed the verdict. And that was the first time I really realized the difference between white people and black people. Because at the school I went to, every school I went to was in the hood, and we had majority black teachers. I did not grow up in one of those schools that it was like a whole bunch of white teachers. So the black teachers was in class like giving us the Arsenio Hall root. White teachers was like, man, what the fuck? What the fuck did I just see? Also, I believe that's the first time that I really realized that it was guilty until proven innocent. Now, I was too young to even give a damn about if he did it or not. But then when I look at everything, it's like, yo, if he ain't do it, he know who did it. He has an idea or something. He's not. This is not benign, fam. This is he know who did it. That being said, the man became a pariah. But before that, when we used to watch NBC Sports, dude was the sideline reporter and a very good sideline reporter. Him and Amar Rashad, when it comes to sideline reporting, was like neck and neck when it came to basketball and sports. OJ Simpson was doing his thing. Then you got the Naked Gun. If you go farther than that, I think it was the Towering Inferno he was in that my father had me watching some shit. The shit that The Rock did, redid or whatever. He was in Roots. OJ Simpson still for the black community was not looked at favorably after he divorced his black wife and went to Nicole Brown Simpson. The Hertz commercial and all of that was cool, but he ain't black. He OJ. That's really what it was for a lot of people because even still, my father would be like, man, his Uncle Tom ass up out of here. But the minute he got off, it seemed like it changed. He became an icon for black people for getting off, but then a pariah to white people and black people and others who thought he did it. So the complicated legacy is no way to even explain what OJ Simpson is. It's just simple. You forget about everything that happened the minute he ended up in that Chicago hotel and they was like, yo, what blood is this? Simply put, nobody talks about the fact that this dude was the first, I believe he was the first running back to rush for 2,000 yards and he did it twice. Nobody talks about how he basically had the Buffalo Bills on his back. Nobody talks about, you can say at one point in time, OJ Simpson could have been the greatest football player of all time. And if he had actually won a title, he probably would be considered one of the greatest football players of all time. I think they had him 40th in the ranking that they did on NFL Network. If he won a title, OJ Simpson would be top 5, top 10 at the very least. But you forget about all of that. You don't even care about all of that. You only care about the trial. And when you go to the fact that he actually went to jail, you can't tell me this. OJ Simpson didn't go to jail for robbing his like robbery,
Oh no, that was a
burglarizing
get
his
back.
own shit back.
That was a
That
get
was
back.
revenge, retaliation, and get back right there. We got him. And he set up in jail for that. But it's just, you forget about everything that man did in his life before that day. And even when you look at, I can't remember what day it was. I know they got a 30 for 30 for it. I think it's like June 17th or some shit like that.
It's June 17th.
There we go. See, look at me on it. But I remember watching the NBA Finals that day, Houston versus New York, and then they jumped in with the coverage. So it was Hakeem Olajuwon and Patrick Ewing, but then in the right corner, it was the chase going on. And I remember my father like, man, get that shit up off my goddamn TV. I'm trying to see Patrick Ewing in them. So it's just a legacy that was just damaged beyond repair because one incident changed the life of OJ, his family, Nicole Brown Simpson, Ron Goldman, and everybody that was around that. The LA police, Mark Furman, and all of that shit. Like, if you remember Judge Ito, and everything that we know about TV changed at that moment. Niggas was mad that All My Children was not coming on because niggas was trying to watch the goddamn OJ Simpson trial. Like fuck OJ. Where's Erica Kane at, fam? Like where's Adam Chandler at, fam? But it's just a legacy that, when you think about it, is far reaching until even till today, because there's no court TV, there's no break-ins in TV like this is like right now. There's not a lot of stuff if it's not the OJ trial.
Dante, man, I'm gonna give it to you, man. What's your take on the complications with OJ's legacy and how people have been responding the last 24 hours?
I think more than anything, one thing this has showed us, and yesterday I actually went and ran back the OJ Made in America documentary, which is, in my opinion, that's like probably one of the best sports documentaries ever.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily. And so it just shows how, when people become celebrities and we place them in this holier than thou spot in our society, like shit can go left. And so OJ was an example of that. And like you said, everything that happened really outweighs everything he's done. And I think it's one of those situations where, even though that's true, this isn't really a time for people to be taking victory laps and stuff. Because my thing was this: when everybody jumped out the window with he's a murderer, blah, 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 like, y'all haven't thought about the Brown family or the Goldman family in years. And the only time y'all talk about them is when people bring up OJ. So it's like, let it rest. It's over. And I think the statement that his kids released, the end of it was holding the whole statement together. And it was like, and grace. It was like, just give us grace. We know what this situation is. At the same time, there's still a pops. I think, people were mad at the Heisman Association for, saying their condolences. But like I said, that part of his life still happened. So you shouldn't be upset if somebody acknowledged it. Now, of course, you got people that were doing goofy shit, but that's just the internet. We take that with everything big that happens. But this was without a doubt one of those culture moving moments. And with everything we've seen from it, from the TMZ, like you said, to the court TV, it has a place in history that you have to acknowledge it, whether you want to or not. So I think, like you said, it's very complicated, but it's definitely not a time for people to take victory laps and shit. Because I mean, that's just hella disingenuous. You don't really mean what you're saying.
Mike, man, I'm gonna throw it to you, man. What's your take on everything involving OJ? And before you talk, that's actually, I got you on mute. That's me. Go ahead.
I mean, I agree with what Bang and Dante said, but at the end of the day, you know how people are, how social media is, they gonna get their jokes in. Like, it was really astonishing to see how people was laughing at his death, and I'm like, man, the world is so fucking cruel. You know what I'm saying? Like, memes and stuff like that. I'm like, man, it's crazy. And like Bang said, like, honestly, it just takes away from a lot of shit that he did, especially on the football field. Like, but what I'm saying, at that point, besides like Jim Brown, or even Jim Brown, he was looked at as the best, one of the best ever. Like you said, he ran for 2,000 yards, and they played 14 games back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? Like, they trying to get the NFL players to play 18 games. He did 2,000. He did 2,000 yards and 14 games.
I think they said his game average was 143 yards per game, fam.
That's crazy.
That's nasty.
That's nuts. You gotta remember, he was a dog in college as well. So, we all have our opinion, and there's always been barbershop talk and things like that, if OJ did it or not or whatnot, and people make joke of it. But at the end of the day, someone died in the situation, even when in this case, and in this family's case. So it's kind of tough to talk about that. It's always hard bringing up OJ, because that's always going to be the elephant in the room. Like, you rarely see the NFL talk about OJ. You know what I'm saying? Because if you bring up like 2,000-yard rusher, you got to say OJ Simpson. It's kind of like, you say his name, it just brings up all this other shit that goes along with it. So it's kind of always been tough. But for his family, saying, like, condolences to them and things like that. Like you said, only God knows if he did it or not and things like that. But, as a football player and everything else he did, it seemed like when it was time to do his job, he did his job. You know what I'm saying? But, it's like, it's going to be hard because people are they're going to talk their shit. You know what I'm saying? Just give them more ammo now that he's passed, like Bang was saying, like, especially with, white people who feel like, he got fucked over. So they're like, yo, yeah, he gets what he deserves, but eventually he was going to pass away anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't even know he had cancer. He definitely kept it away for a very long time. And I know he's been on the Cam and Mace podcast for a while. And he actually did some good work on there. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's kind of tough. So that's my breakaway from it, though. But I'll definitely a great-ass running back. And like Banks said, if he would have won a ring, he definitely would have been up there. But I think even still, the amount of yards he was, you know what I'm saying, he was getting and the amount of games that they were playing to achieve that is definitely impressive.
And you know, when you said like when people bring him up, like I think they did like when they did doing the NFL's 100th season, they did the top 100 players, and they got to like number 43, and Bill Belichick, the only one at the table, like talk about it in football. He say, yeah, from a football perspective, like, I've never seen Bill Belichick talk that much. He's like, he was incredible. So it's like, yeah, and I understand it's gonna always be that. I just feel like there's a little bit of room for nuance. But Tulsa, man, take us home on this, man. What's your thoughts on this, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
I mean, obviously, when it happened, I was 4. Yeah, I was in London, so that shit didn't affect me until I moved to America. I didn't know anything about football at all. So as I got older, living in America, like, you know, moved here when I was 11, I was like, oh shit, like he was a really good football. Because only thing I knew about OJ was that like they say he killed somebody, right? As a kid that came to America, that's the only thing I knew. It was just like, oh shit, this guy. And then like as I started watching more football, I was like, oh, this nigga was nice. Like it was nice. This nigga was insane. And I was just like, as I've gotten older, you know, I've learned to like. I think one of the things is sometimes you just gotta shut the fuck up because there's some things you just don't need to talk about. So it's just like I think the biggest thing that like I was seeing yesterday, especially on Twitter, like David Dennis said it the best, was like, don't get your ass fired from your job. I think a lot of people can jokes and it's just like, yo, it's still a sensitive topic for some people, man. Like you gotta be careful and know the circles. Like get a group chat. If you want to talk shit, get a group chat. But I think the wild thing about OJ is like he was an amazing football player. Probably, you know, like Bang said, one of the greatest running backs ever, you know, top 5, top 10 running back, however you see it. That's the one thing about him. But the other thing is like, I think that case really changed the way we see society, right? Like, I think that really birthed the idiot who just generally gets popular off a situation. I feel like without that case and without that, everything that happened, we wouldn't have like the things that we have today. We wouldn't have like the TV shows we have today. Like a lot of it just came from that trial. Like we just generally just got so many things that like
shit, it birthed the Kardashians. We didn't know nothing about them until his daddy was on that prosecution.
Yeah,
team.
I mean, they were always. I mean, the thing is, they were rich. They've always been rich. Rich as hell. But like their father became a thing. Like it's funny because that case, I actually want to become a lawyer because of Johnny Cochran. I only knew Johnny Cochran because of that case. I really went to my freshman year of college, tried to take a class, like trying to get introduction to law school, and I was like, I gotta do this. Like, hell no, I'm not doing that. But Johnny Cochran's literally was one of my heroes growing up because, you know, that's of this trial. Like, you knew Johnny Cochran and everybody. So it's insane, man. Like, it's like it burst so much shit that like we don't necessarily need, but that trial did that. So yeah, it's a real weird situation with OJ because it's like that's one of the greatest running backs ever, but also at the same time, that happened as well. So
yeah,
condolences to his family, condolences to the Brown and the Goldmans as well. Because
definitely,
what can you say?
That's the best way to end it, man. Condolences to all the families involved. I know it's a lot of emotions on both sides, man. But let's move on to our next topic, man. Let's talk about another scandal. This one definitely much lighter. much lighter. The Shohei Otani scandal, man. There's been a lot of updates. Yeah. Well, lighter than murder.
Okay.
This one, man, has been a story in baseball and sports the last couple weeks that just gets getting crazier and crazier. Dante, I want you to update us on what's the current status of what's going on with Ohtani. I feel like this changes like every hour.
Yeah. Right now, currently, INGHY is facing 30 years in federal penitentiary for his crimes against Shohei Otani. The feds released like I want to say a 43-page report, and they just gave all the details of how they've been tracking this situation and how, in fact, you know, we all have our theories about Ohtani's involvement, but basically, Ipe, he was the only one. He was the only one who handled Shohei's personal business. Like, yeah, he had an accountant and all of those things, but because Shohei's English is bad, Ipe was the one who spoke to the accountant. So naturally, he helped set up the accounts. He had the routing numbers, and he had several accounts where the money was being routed directly to him, and Shohei didn't know that. And so, you know, they had calls with him on the bank, impersonating Shohei, approving $1 million wire transfers, things like that. All these conversations with the bookie, and we also almost had a fucking Sopranos moment because apparently the bookie saw Shohei while he was walking his dog, and then he left a message with Ipe and said, "Hey, you know, I see Shohei right now in Newport News walking his dog, or Newport Beach. I'm sorry." He said, "I could just walk up and ask about the money and ask why you're not answering the phone. Please call me back immediately." So like shit could have really went left according to the report. And so right now, you know, like I said, he's in federal custody, and we got to go from there. But yeah, they have pretty much cleared Shohei. They said no, Shohei did not do any of this. This guy was basically robbing him blind.
And I think they said like he's in front of a court right now in LA. So that would be interesting. But I'm gonna go to Bang first. I know Bang, you got a roll. What's your thoughts on this guy? I know with me, if somebody takes $16 from my bank account, I'm gonna notice the 16 million is crazy. I had to make an amount of money that 16 million is 16 million. I really don't care how much money you're making. Go ahead.
And that's my thing. 16 million to 16 million. And even the amount of money that he won compared to the amount of money that he lost. Somebody had to know. Either nobody knew or Major League Baseball should be sued. Like simple as that, because he was a baseball employee with the Dodgers. So if all of this is true, why the Dodgers or MLB not getting sued? Because that's their man's. They put him there. You mean to tell me that this dude really got a hold of his stuff and stole $16 million and buddy ass ain't know about it? As we talked about in the pre-show, yeah, there's been people who's been robbed for less. But not like this. Like, it be teams of people that be robbing you. And the people that rob you, they apparently didn't know. Because according to the reports, the financial advisors and all of those people were told by dude that, hey, I got this. Nah, fam. It's still something that stinks about this. I'm not off of the Shohei Otani is innocent thing, because the one thing we do know is this. This man is the most popular man in baseball right now. He is the gold shiny toy. You can't let this one fall. Not where baseball is at right now. So I'm sorry. While, yes, there is certain situations like this, the people who do it got a team. I see Orlando's joint. Yeah, Don King got a team of people that he works with. He has lawyers along with what he do to make sure that you don't get what you want. Bernie Madoff wasn't the only person that got in trouble for that, ripping off people. There's a team. Y'all mean to tell me that the only person that was out here taking from Shohei Otani was the interpreter? I'm skeptical. I don't know what else to be, because unless you about to tell me he had 15 other people behind him moving things around, no. Those reports say it was him. So I feel like Buddy is falling on the sword, and we'll know really how hard that sword is, or how sharp that sword is, when it comes out how many years he get in prison. If he don't get that long, fam, yeah, he fell on the sword. Because that right there, that's Bernie Madoff life shit. 16 million? Nah.
Yeah, I think Kyle in the chat, man, you hit the nail on the head. You said, you see how many fans come see Ohtani doing away games? It's crazy. No way he takes goes down. Yeah, I'm with you, and that's why I feel like there's not going to be any suspension. I don't think there's going to be anything that has anything to do with that. It says, Bang, be careful. You might get pressed at NJPW.
I ain't going to say nothing. The views and the thoughts expressed by, I ain't even going to say nothing. Y'all won.
But so what I was gonna say, like, about Ohtani, man, I don't want to say that I believe it, because yeah, 60 million is a lot of money. Like, I really don't care like how much money you make. Like, $16 million is a lot of money. I could be making Zuckerberg money, but I'm gonna notice if I'm 16 million light in the bank account. Now, also, I granted, people who make that much money, I would guess, don't check their bank account that much, like us who aren't rich. But I do think there's more to the story. I do believe that some money was stolen. But I just don't believe that it was just all Buddy. Like it just doesn't make sense. But at the end of the day, I feel like this is gonna get wrapped up very quickly. I think the MLB wants this to be over. I think Shohei Otani wants this to be over, and more important, the Dodgers want this to be over. They don't want any more light on this story as we head into the summer and things like that. And I think with the NBA playoffs coming up too, it's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go under the radar. And so maybe they want to put this under the radar with that as well. I really don't know who to trust though. I don't know who to trust. I feel like there's so many different ways this story could go, but I do think there's more to it because 16 million, it just don't smell right. Tosin, what you think about this, man? What side of the fence you on with this Ohtani thing?
Y'all remember what happened December 27, 1999?
No. What happened that day?
Diddy and Shine won a club with J-Lo. And somehow Shine went to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think something like that's happening. That's the only that I can say. Like, I think somebody's taking the blame for something because I know when $1.60 comes out of my account, I'm not even talking about 16 mil. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like something's very, very sus. And listen, Shohei's the golden boy of baseball right now. We all know, like you said, where baseball is at. It just is what it is. I mean, I'm just saying, man, you steal 16 mil for somebody. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that, bro. Like, that's insane.
Where does violence come into play with 16 million? Like,
you see what?
Where does violence come into play when $16 million gets missing from somebody's account? Because I will handle that before the court handle that. Like, come on, dog. Like, what are you doing?
Nigga, violence will happen way before it gets to $1 million. Violence happens when it gets.
When it's $16,000, I'm getting like my cousins from Lagos. They're coming to America to come talk to some people. Get somebody from Lagos to talk to you because that's a lot.
Somebody's got to die. If I go, you gotta go.
Yeah, man.
That's insane.
Shouldn't even get the 16 million. Mike, what you think about this, bro?
Like I said, it's tricky, but I did hear that what they went through his phone. They went through his phone and. None of the bets were on baseball though, so
yeah.
As I just be looking something like, man, fucking Pete Rose got to be pissed the fuck off, like goddamn, Pete Rose got to be pissed the fuck off. But yeah, none of the bets were on baseball. So if it was on baseball, I think they would dig a little more deeper into it. But for that man it's no way I'm going down for somebody for 30 years. If I didn't do something like that, bro, nah, bro. I gotta let it be known. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, I don't think Shohei did it. Now, can he just be that naive and notice that his money's missing? You know what I mean? Obviously, we're not fucking multi-millionaires. So it probably all didn't come out at one time because it was over a span of a couple of years. So I don't know. The interpreter probably taking a little bit here, a little bit there. And, Shohei got money coming in from New Balance, from the Angels, taxes coming out, he got all type of endorsements. So who knows? Like you said, he's probably not even looking at it. But somebody's noticing something. Like an accountant or something like, okay, you got $2 million missing there. Now, that's another person that needs to be fired as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know when money is missing. So, like you said, they try to get it over with as quick as possible, and I think that's because it wasn't no bets on baseball. That's key. It wasn't no bets on baseball, so they want to throw this under the rug, send his buddy, and just praise Shohei as much as possible. Mookie Betts is actually better though, but that's another story for another day.
Okay, I'm not mad at it. I kind of disagree, but I'm not mad at it.
He is. Y'all just like him because he pitched. Not Shohei Cole. Y'all like him because he pitched. Niggas saw Shohei and said, I'm like, come on, G. We saw Barry Bonds, G. Like, we losing recipes. Like, y'all act like Barry Bonds not the coldest fucking athlete that ever lived, bro. But that's another story, too.
That's definitely another story. Bang, we know you got to get up out of here, man. You got some Friday night wrestling to watch. So we gonna holler at you on Monday. Y'all can follow JR Bang.
So real quick,
ahead.
I just read on the internet that they officially removed 7-minute drill from the streaming services.
Remove him.
Yeah, exactly. Remove him. Remove his whole profile from all streaming services.
Hey, before Bang goes, I want to add this. everybody that's like talking shit about how like we don't see not like to see people not have beef and like this is not what hip hop was. Shut the fuck up, like please.
50 Cent would be pissed. 50 Cent would be pissed.
This whole entire genre of music has been competitive since they were calling everybody suck MC. So
Yeah,
shut up,
exactly.
please. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. Go back to 1984 or whatever. Listen to the bridges over, man. All right, come on, dog. We've been doing this since day one. I don't want to hear about your mental health with rap battles, man. I'm sorry. Even though mental health matters, black mental health matters. But still,
Mental health matters.
I don't want to hear about that. But bang, we gonna holler at you on Monday, bro.
All right, peace.
All right. Let's move on to the National Basketball Association, man. This is the last weekend in the NBA. The play-in tournament starts on Wednesday, and the NBA playoffs will start next Saturday, man. We're going to get into the actual playoff breakdowns probably, sometime next week. Probably the Friday show will do a full breakdown after the play-in games and things like that. But my question to you esteemed gentlemen on this panel, was this the worst NBA regular season ever? Because I personally believe in the 30 years I've been watching the NBA that it was. And I say that because the thing that pisses me off the most about it is this is the most individual talent we've ever seen in this league. Like just from night to night basis, you still got LeBron James doing his thing. You still got Stephen Curry doing his thing. Kevin Durant, Giannis, Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Then you got the young guns. You got the Zion Williamsons, you got the Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders, Anthony Edwards, Chet Holmgren. Victor Wembanyama is going to destroy the league in about a year or two once you actually put NBA caliber players around him. So you got all this great talent, but on a night-to-night basis, it's a real chore to watch the NBA. I have watched front to back maybe 10 games this season, and this is something where I've tried to watch, and I just can't sit down and do it. And I feel like each year the regular season has gotten progressively worse. We talked about the problems with the All-Star game a couple months ago, and we've had these problems the last couple of years. Really, for the last good All-Star game was the 2021 right after Kobe Bryant died, and I think a lot of people wanted to put on the show because Kobe had just passed. And one thing I'll say about the NBA, though, I'll give them this. The playoffs have been fire. The last couple years, ever since we got rid of the Steph LeBron in the finals every year, which I still think was the most, I won't say it's overrated rivalry, but outside of 2016 and even 2015, none of those series were actually entertaining. Like, and even 2016, I got a little people say it's the best series ever. No, it had the best climactic ending ever. The actual series, there was a lot of blowouts in this series. That's a whole nother point. But the playoffs have been great the last couple of years. I thought last year was very entertaining. The year before that was really entertaining in 2021. I was not a fan of the intramural championship, aka the bubble, but we're not going to get into that debate for the minute time. But the problem is, if you're the NBA, how do you get fans to get through 6 months before you get to the 3 month, 2.5 months of the playoffs? Like, what are you going to do to keep that up? And I don't think them ducking competition helps. Like, you're ducking the NFL by not having games on Thursday to after the NFL season is over. Like, yeah, you're going to lose to the NFL in the ratings regardless. It could be a terrible game like Raiders and, I don't know, Cardinals or something like that, and it's going to destroy whoever the top two teams in the NBA are. But there's still a portion of people in your fan base who are not NFL fans and want to have that option to do that. They do the same thing with the national championship. We just had the men's national championship game. This week there's no games. So I feel like there's a lot of things that happen. I am not an Adam Silver fan. I do think there's some things that he has brought that has been entertaining. I personally like the play-in tournament. I was very, very skeptical about the play-in tournament, but at least in year one, we'll see how this keeps translating in the next couple years, but at least in year one, it was very entertaining. But that was the last time I saw competitive basketball this season, was the play-in game. So I'm going to go to Mike first, man. What do you think about the current state of regular season basketball and how it's changed?
It's cooked, and it's going to be hard to get it back. And the reason why it's cooked is because we put so much emphasis on, we like the older generation, we put so much emphasis on the playoffs and the finals and what is the outcome of that. But I always tell people, to get to that outcome, you need the regular season. So now you're seeing these stars, you're seeing things like that. They just like, man, I'm just trying to get to the playoffs, and then when the playoffs come, okay, I'm all full force ahead. I honestly don't think it's anything do, people say, okay, the games, so it won't be as many back to back. So you don't play as many time as that many games a week, but then you're losing revenue on that. And obviously they don't want to do that. If anything, they would add more, always add more than take away, because that's taking money out of the owner's pocket.
Yeah, it's that money.
But it's just it's the money, but it's just, and I think it's just us, and that's another thing too, Scott. It just might be in our view, you know what I'm saying? Because our age group, it might just be us. It's not entertaining to us anymore.
Because a lot of these kids watch these games through. They don't even watch games, when they watch highlights. They watch the short stuff.
They their attention span is already short anyway. As I know a lot of teachers, and they were like, the kids can't even fucking sit still or pay attention to the classroom for 20 minutes. So to watch a whole NBA game and to understand it is like, it's a difference between hooping and playing the actual game of basketball, and a lot of people don't understand that. And also too,
there's a lot of hoopers right now.
It's a lot of hoopers, but not a lot of basketball players. And then when you look at it, and then like even us, like I know when I watch a game, I look at a coach and I'm like, why the fuck are you not calling timeout? Or do this, do that. The coaches don't even fucking know what the fuck they doing. You know what I'm saying? They just letting these guys go up and run up and down the court and shoot and things like that, because that's what they're being told. That's what people like. So if the game say, hey, we don't want to see people shoot no more, they're going to put more big men in there and put stuff in the post. But I just think it's cooked. Like you said, the playoffs is everything's money, because the first round should not be 7 games. The best of 7 games.
They changed that 20 years ago because, like you said, because of money. And I know a lot of people want it to go back to 5 games. I know I'm in a minority. I think both teams should at least have 2 home games. So that's why I'm personally against the 5-game series. But
I mean, that's all. But not to cut you off, that's what's fighting for a better regular season record.
And that's a good point. That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want 2 home games, you better fight for a top 4 seed. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it meaningful a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, real shit. So, or don't, I'll put it, if you don't get a top 4 seed, shit, you don't get no home games. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like, make them earn that. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I think it's cooked.
Tosa, man, do you think it's a generation thing, like Mike was saying, or we just being the typical old heads, or do you think that the game is really cooked right now?
I'm about to be an old nigga right now. Even in the sport that I love, in soccer, like it's like that too. It's like you see the way people look at the sport and the way people talk about the sport. It's really, really just like a lot of people can't sit there for 90 minutes and analyze what they're watching. Like, I'm wrong a lot of times whenever I watch the sport. It's like I can literally sit there and I think with the NBA, like, that was funny enough. The NBA was the first sport like I generally loved when I first came to America. Like, obviously, I got into NFL, but I remember kids telling about Allen Iverson. I used to watch games all the time. Now it's like you were saying, it's so hard to watch the NBA. And I don't know. Maybe it's like 82 games is too much, but we need to talk to Roger Goodell on how to actually have a good product. Because in as bad as like toxic the NFL is, man, that's still a supreme product. They got to figure out how to talk to Big Raj, and how to like figure out their shit, because there's a lot of talent in NBA. I mean, Ant's insane. We see the stuff that Ant does on the weekly basis, on the nightly basis. I mean, the Timberwolves are a good team because, like, again, we'll talk about that later. You know, there's stuff to talk about the Timberwolves, but it's like there's a lot of great individual talent in the league. Like, Wemby's a freak, like you mentioned. Like, there's a lot of really good players, but there's also some weird shit that happens in the NBA. It's like, why is Malachi Flynn getting 51 points in the NBA?
50 points, bro.
That is not cool. So I don't know. I feel like there has to be a switch of just competitiveness, like make people earn it. Because even watching the All-Star game, I was like, this ain't it. Like, this is not it. Something is amiss. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I think it's also some of the younger players too, because, and I do think you got to blame a little bit of the OGs, because I saw on Kevin Garnett's podcast with Paul Pierce, which is Kevin Garnett, for a nigga that only spent 1 year in Chicago, is one of the most Chicago niggas I've ever seen on TV. Like niggas say Lord every other week. He sound like one of my old West Side uncles. But he on there, he's basically saying, like, you know, when he came into the game, him and Kobe made their first All-Star games, and Shaq and Pat and you know, Gary Payton would put them on game about competition. These younger guys, they're not doing that, and maybe you got to blame the LeBrons, the Stephs, the KDs for not putting them on game about how the All-Star game should be treated. So is that all? But I also think what we're seeing now is what happened with Michael Jordan, but being finally realized. Michael Jordan was the first basketball player to be his own brand. And now all these players are brands. Some niggas ain't even superstars, and their brand. So they're more thinking about their brand and money more than actually competing. And I think that's why we don't see these big name stars entering the dunk contest. That's why I think we don't see this competition in the All-Star game. And like I said in February, I'm not going to sit up here and act like every All-Star game is competitive. But one thing you did know was in that fourth quarter, if it was in between 20 points, you were going to get a game. And that aspect's not even there anymore. And like I said, I love Shea. I think Shea as a player is great. But to me, to have a fashionista who doesn't care, like, yeah, Russ was one, but Russ goes out on the court and balls every day. Like I've been around Russell Westbrook, and this nigga be locked in. So I feel like Shea just be there just to get fits off. And that's why I really don't 100% believe in the Thunder, but we'll get into that later. But that's how I kind of feel has to do with the mentality of the actual players too. Dante, I feel like me and you have been discussing this the last couple years on not just here, but also on our old podcast, Balled On Live. What do you think about the state of the NBA's regular season basketball right now?
I think the primary reason is the primary problem is the way we consume it. I think that the league has done a horrible job advertising its stars, its young stars. It's a lot of young talent in the league, and yet we're still talking about LeBron and Steph as just the end. And we've been saying the same shit for the past 5 years. So I think that's a major issue, and that's one thing that the NFL has over the NBA is that you know who the young guys are. You know about Justin Jefferson. You knew about Justin Herbert as soon as he came out and he was killing shit. They make sure to put their young players in prime time on the shows that everybody wants to see, where the NBA is still relying on the old guard and those old legacies. Although, you know, one thing we can say, Adam Silver, he has got what he wanted, and that's competitive balance. I think like 13 teams have like a record of like 44 wins or something like that. So it's a lot of teams just bunched up. So David Stern had his dynasties. Adam Silver has his competitive balance. And I think another reason that the game has changed, and one thing we always had was, it's kind of like with boxing when we say styles make fights. I know y'all remember when like the West Coast teams would come to the East Coast and they had to play that team that played hella defense. Yeah. But now with analytics is 3s and 2s. That's it. That's everybody does the same thing. We're gonna take the most, you know, the highest percentage shot, and that has eliminated a lot of the style from the game. So it's not as fun to watch, because I mean, if one team get hot and one team is cold, and it's like, yo, turn this shit off. And like, so for me, you know, nowadays, you know, you remember when the team would have a 12-point lead, you'd be like, all right, damn, they might put the bench in. But now that's, you know, 3 threes, a 9-0 run. All right, now we right back in the game. So that's changed a lot of it. And so I think it's really just the style of basketball and the way basketball has been presented to us from the media. That's the major issue. Because once I really I locked in the second half of the season and got league pass, and so I was watching, you know, 3 or 4 games a night. And it's a lot of fucking talent out there, but it's just so many bullshit storylines that we're fed. So many storylines that are just regurgitated and repeated. And it's like, all right, bro, like if y'all really want to grow this game, you got to realize you're not the NFL. Because one thing the NFL has over the NBA is it's only 17 weeks. Yeah. So that puts a different emphasis on the regular season. And when you have the people who watch the league, the people who cover the league constantly shitting on the league, that don't make it no better, bro, because people are parrots. So people are sitting at home like, see, they like prime example, we love inside the NBA. We love TNT.
Who's our new Amar Rashad, man?
Bro, we don't have one. Because when they sit here and just shit on the players or just dick ride whatever Shaq and Chuck say, Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny, like that's not growing the game, bro. That's not helping anybody. That's why I love when they bring Candace Parker on there and she actually breaking down plays and trying to teach people and show people, yo, this is why this is happening. But you don't get enough of that with the league. So that's the big problem.
And I think too, like, and that's why I like LeBron and JJ Redick's podcast, because they're doing the X's and O's. And yes, they do a lot of stuff to even people who are really locked in. Like sometimes they say stuff, I don't know what they're talking about. It's like if you don't play hoops, you don't know, but you need that. Like there's one thing I'll give the NFL and Major League Baseball. There's podcasts or shows that give you actual breakdown of the game. With the NBA, there's too much. And I'm not gonna say all media. I gotta give some love to the NBA Today team. Like I think Malika Andrews and Richard Jefferson and Chine and I know people talk about Kendrick Perkins, but I don't think Kendrick Perkins is bad. I think they do a solid job of what you can do on ESPN, where it's more about they try to talk about as much basketball as they can, more than that. But you're right, it's the coverage about it. And I'm in the chat, I know Kyle, you said Shea got 31 points. I'm not saying that Shea's not a hooper. Shea's a hooper. I'm just saying this playoffs are gonna show me, is he a dog though? I feel like he'd be too cool. And there's nothing wrong with being too cool. But if you cool and you can be a gamer in the playoffs, then I feel like I will earn a lot more respect for him. That's just me. But his comments, what he said about the All-Star game, just kind of really rubbed me the wrong way. And I know Alex also put in chat about NBA TV stinking. I know that's might seem something minor, but it's not. One thing the NFL Network has, one thing the MLB Network has, a lot of original programming that will get you into the game. The NBA is just highlights and the Dream Team documentary they play 50 times. The Dream Team documentary is NBA TV's Baby Boy. Like, really, like they play that once a week. So they got a lot of things to fix. And Tosin, like you said about, he takes some advice from Big Raj. One thing that Big Raj does, and this is what David Stern was great at. He's not trying to be these niggas' friends. I really think Adam Silver is trying to be the players' commissioner, and that's the problem that we have there. He needs to be a villain. Like when people boo Adam Silver at the draft, it's not believable. When you see people, when niggas boo Goodell in 2 weeks on that Ford Field stage, he gonna sit up there and like, yeah, keep it up, keep doing. Y'all gonna keep watching.
Yo, Scott,
yeah.
At your point, I remember when David Stern used to get booed. He loved that shit.
He loved it.
He would come back on stage just to hear it. He loved being booed. He loved that shit.
You need that. You need a villain. And yeah, it's going to be hard because obviously the NFL has 17 games. So it's not the 82 game thing. But I think the thing that the NFL has that the NBA used to have, they don't have anymore. And I think that's one of the downsides of player empowerment is players move around too much for us to have rivalries anymore. So the NFL, every year you're going to have division rivalries. The NFC East, it don't matter what records are. Them fan bases hate each other. Like the NFC North, I feel like the last couple years, we've really seen it get to that level. And I think this year, if Caleb is what he is, the NFC North is going to be like a fun division to watch with all those quarterbacks with Caleb, Jordan Love, and Jared Goff. And I don't know. I think Minnesota's going to try to get somebody. So you have that. Who are the rivalries in the NBA? We keep trying to get LeBron and Steph again, which I'll get into in a minute. But I think that's the main problem with it. But before we actually get to the Giannis thing, I'm going to switch the topic that we had after that because I kind of feels into goes to what we're talking about, the NBA's old guard. The old guard is, of course, LeBron James. And I got to give LeBron some credit. I know Mike going to laugh at this. He's going to call me Clutch Scott or whatever. But I'm going to give some love to LeBron because outside of Tom Brady, I've never seen somebody play like this at his age. Like it's ridiculous, man. Like at this point, what Damian say, ESPN, they take notes from women's NCAA. Yeah, exactly. Andrea Chene and Elle Duncan, they did a great job on that. You need something like that. But, and it's also what Alex said in the chat too as well. He said the main reason what Tay touched on is when the WNBA is doing why it's going to grow, watching players go. Exactly. So, but with the old guard, man, you've got LeBron and the Lakers and things like that. Actually, funny thing about the Lakers having a better season than last year. I think they've won 10 more games than last year. We love to make fun of Anthony Davis, especially me. He's been healthy majority of this year. Not only has he been healthy, he's been fantastic defensively. He's had a good year. The Lakers in general have had a good year. It's just the West is so stacked. So you got them. Right. Golden State Warriors had a terrible January, but they're playing better. They're like at 46 wins. If they win tonight, they'll be at 47 wins, and they might even host a play-in game against the Lakers. So you got them two teams. You got the current guard, which I say is the Denver Nuggets, and Jokic, and you got Giannis and things like that. But my question for y'all. And Tosin, I'm going to go to you first. Do you think this is the last run for the old guard and the current guard? And do you think you're going to see a Minnesota or OKC or Pelicans make a nice run to tell the old niggas, yo, this our league now?
I think, like I said earlier, the Timberwolves are nice as shit. Like, they're generally a really, really good team. Like, Naz Reid is playing out of his mind. The French dude who I don't want to acknowledge, but he's really good. So it's just like, they're a really good team. I think that they might shock the older two dudes. And I think that, LeBron and Steph have been playing for so long, and Clay and Draymond, like they've been playing for so long that there's mileage in those legs. They got to do a playing game. They get to the playoffs. So I would say it's like the end of it because I feel like next year, like they're going to retool, obviously, but it's going to start seeing a lot of teams that back in the day we used to look at like they suck and like they're up here now. Like Timberwolves, like I said. So yeah, and AD did beat the allegations this year. He did. He stayed healthy. Eyebrows and all. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna change up. I'm excited to see it. And also, by the way, Ant Shoe is fire. So that's another thing.
Yeah, you need, if you're gonna be one of the face of the league, you need fire kicks. Mike, what you think about this, man? You think that OKC? I know you our man Zion. I'm glad he's healthy and
My boy.
hooping. And I like you said, Toast. I love Minnesota. Anthony Edwards is probably my favorite young nigga right now, and I think all this will really be on Karl Anthony Towns, what he's gonna bring. He's back in the lineup tonight, and Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, like you said, we don't like to talk about him. He started COVID. That's what I'm saying. I'm rolling with that. Joe Escargot Theo Rattler. That's hilarious. Like I said, yeah, Jokic like be bodying Rudy. Like Rudy's a great defensive player. But Jokic be body next. That's the problem I have. But Mike, what you think about the young guns, man? Do you think they can actually get some of the old guys up out of here? Or do you think the LeBron and the Stephs and the KDs can be like, nah, this is still our league?
Man, until them niggas can't score 25 to 30 points, they never gonna get them out of there. Because you can always, besides the Suns, you can always like build around them. You know what I'm saying? I was listening today, like shit, the fucking Timberwolves might not even need Cat next year. You know, you got Nas Reed, you got Gobert. They playing better without Cat. And they was like, oh well, shit, he could probably go to the Warriors. That'd be a nice fit for Cat to play with the Warriors. They need a big, you know what I'm saying, another big shooter as well. So then the third star for the summer. You know, it's the Lakers. They like the Yankees. They can get whatever the fuck they want to get. So it's going to be hard to just like overthrow them. And honestly, if you think about it, one of those three guys, KD, LeBron, or Steph, is not going to make the playoffs. If they all end up in the play-in, somebody's going to end up, you know what I'm saying, out. So that would be interesting to see how the ratings go with that. But you know, these young guys, they definitely can, but just the way the team, unless you like a team base, like fully team based team, you're not going to beat one of them people. And that's just how it is. Like the Nuggets, they got their star, and then they pieces around it just fit so well. I love OKC. I love Shea. Shea's a dog. Like he get fits off. My man he gonna drop 35, get a fits off, and then make a caption about you, then 35 and get a fit off, which is hilarious. But they got no size either. Pause. So you know, and I love Minnesota, but you know, got some best around them. So that I love that what they putting around Ant-Man. And then you got the Clippers, but the Clippers is, I mean, we've been waiting on this shit for how long? But like I always say, I like Luka in them as well. But it's just gonna be hard to get these because like you said, if you let it get to game 7 against LeBron, KD, or fucking Steph, you going with those vets. You're going with those vets.
Sacramento
you cook.
Learned
You cook
the hard way.
They learned the hard way.
Sacramento learned the hard way. Now look at them niggas. They were like the number 2 seed last year.
He dropped 50 in the game 7. Sacramento, and real shit, Sacramento was the better team, but they just didn't have the better player, bro. And it just ends up like that. So most times,
yeah. Dante, what you think about that, man? You think the old guard still holding it down this postseason?
I think this might be one of the shakiest seasons for the old guard, shakiest postseasons we've seen in a while, because a lot of these young teams are really ready to make that next step. But what I mean by that is, if we remember with Denver, before Jamal Murray tore his ACL, they went to like 2 or 3 game 7s in a row. So like we are now getting these teams that are getting their playoff experience, and so even though they're the young guns, they're not that young no more. And so I look at a team like Dallas, and I think they're gonna go on a run. I know that first round series with the Clippers is gonna be a battle, but I think Kyrie and Luka are really gonna go crazy. You know, a lot of people haven't been talking about Kyrie, but he's quietly 40, 50, 90. So let's really look at Dallas. The Thunder are exciting, but I actually think the Pelicans got a chance to knock them off with that squad. And then looking at the East, bro, it's actually crazy when you look at the East, because a lot of these names are the names we grew up with, G. You got Cleveland in the playoffs. You got the Pacers in the playoffs. You got the Bucks. You got the Heat. You feel me? The Hawks jumped in there as a 10th seed. So I think that's going to be interesting. I do think the old heads will hold it down in the East, on the Eastern Conference. Eden's crazy now because I think Boston, even though a lot of us would say they're the right now, they damn near old heads because they both have been in the league for a minute now, both Tatum and Brown. So that's a team, I think, with Porzingis and all of the additions they've made, bro, Drew Holiday, that's going to be a team that this should be the year that they finally get over that hump and go to the final. When I go to the finals, they should win it, G. I really think Boston should get it done, because there's always those teams that have taken their lumps, and now it's time to finally cross over. So I think it's going to be shaky, but I do think that Boston is going to be the squad to get it done. That's my early pick.
With Boston, I'm at it. With Boston, I'm like, if to me, there's a couple teams, man. I think Boston, Philly, Clippers. If you don't get it done now, when will you get it done? That's pretty much where I'm at with it with all three of those teams. And we talking about the younger teams. See, I love Minnesota, but they're gonna have to play one of because I'm not even including the Kings. Like I'm writing them off right now. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to play either Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, or the best dynasty of this era in the first round. And that's a tough thing to do. And like I know they're the eighth seed, but that's not the typical eighth seed, my nigga. Like I don't want a dude who's been to 10 NBA finals meeting me in the first round. I don't want to go up against a guy who's won 4 NBA championships in the first round. I don't want to go up against a guy who's one of the greatest gifted scorers, a 2-time finals MVP himself, and Kevin Durant in the first round either. So they're going to have a hard time. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I'm definitely not betting on it. If there's any team who's in the best position, young team-wise, to make a run, it's OKC just because they're just going to have to play Zion in them niggas. And I don't know where Brandon Ingram's health situation is like. That's a winnable series for OKC. So they have the easiest path. But even then, they probably if if they have to stay there, they might have to face Denver if Denver drops to the second seed. I know Denver got number 1 right now. And honestly, if I'm the Lakers or Steph or none of them, I'm praying that Denver takes the next couple games off. I don't want to face them niggas in the first round. Because if the most infuriating part of your Laker fan is the Lakers did not play bad in the West Conference Finals last year. They didn't play bad. They just got beat. Like every game was close. They just got beat. Even if you look at the regular season games they've had, I think the Lakers have had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter every one, and then it's like Jokic's like, all right, enough. Enough. And they go
Last
on
5
a
minutes, they're
14.
going to run. Yeah.
Yeah, they go like a 14-0 run to close the game. So that's why it's going to be real interesting to me, especially in the Western Conference. The East, I feel like it's Boston's to lose, man. So let's go to the next topic, which affects the Eastern Conference. We're going to talk about Mr. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'll say this about the Bucks have not had a good season. I mean, I know they're the number 2 seed in the East right now, but I think they're like a half game up on the Knicks. The Knicks are right behind them to get the second seed. Giannis messed up his knee the other night against Boston, and he will be out for the rest of the regular season and will be day-to-day heading to the playoffs. I'm pretty sure he will play game 1 against whoever they face, but that's not good. You don't want to go into go ahead, Dante.
It was his calf. I got to produce a moment. It was his calf.
Oh, thank you. That it was his calf. So his calf injury. And that's going to be something that's coming to playoffs that you don't want to deal with, especially with they have not had a good season. They fired Adrian Griffin, hired Doc Rivers, who has been way worse than Adrian Griffin, which of course that doesn't matter if you lost the locker room. And obviously that, they lost the locker room. Well, at least Adrian Griffin lost the locker room. So you got that. But I do think this opens up a lot of doors in the Eastern Conference now. I think a team that I'm looking at will be Philadelphia, with them being in the play-in game. Not to say that's a great position for them, but they have a chance to make a run here because of Miami. I know Miami can do we don't care about the regular season, and they just turn up in the playoffs thing they've done the last couple of years. I'm not falling for it this year. Jimmy does not look like himself. This isn't regular season, or we're just trying to get to the playoffs type Jimmy. No, Jimmy just doesn't look like himself anymore. I don't know if he's fallen off, but he just doesn't look like the guy. And they don't look like they have the on switch anymore to have that. And there's no other team outside of Boston that I really feel like they can 100% lose to. So I think this is a massive injury for them. And I'm really interested to see how they're going to play this, because you also got to know that both Dame Lillard and Giannis are not on contract extensions. Not Dame, but Giannis is 100% came out and said that, he's taking it year by year. And he will leave if he has to, if he doesn't feel like this organization is dedicated to winning more championships. And we all know Dame hates Milwaukee. I mean, he's pretty much said everything besides the actual words, I hate Milwaukee. I mean, the nigga came to Chicago to watch a Bulls game just so we get out of Milwaukee for a couple hours. So we know that 100%. But Dante, what you think about Giannis' injury and how you think this affects the Eastern Conference landscape?
I think this is huge. I think if a lot of people, I know we forget shit real quick, but before KD tore his Achilles, he had a strained calf, and he rested for 4 weeks, and he came back, and they said he was ready to go. And midway through the first quarter, his shit popped. So, this is a very, very serious injury. Some people they got to take precautions with, because without Giannis, they're not winning anything, and they know that. And the last thing you would want, or we would want as fans, is for him to go down as soon as he comes back. So I think this is something you got to take into take your time with. And I don't think they can, like I told you who I think coming out the East, but this just sealed it for me. Once he went down and pinched at his Achilles, which we see a lot of people do that when they strain their calf. That's something you don't want to see. And I know we've seen Giannis hyperextend his knee and come back, and sprain his ankle, look like it's broken, he come back. So he is a young guy, still in great shape. So we'll see how his body responds. But for me, I think that was a very serious injury, and I think it's definitely going to impact the playoffs.
Mike, man, what you think about this Giannis injury, man? You think it changes anything in these?
Yeah, just like Dante said, I remember when it happened, I'm like, man, isn't that what happened with KD? And then they rushed him back, and his Achilles popped. I don't think he should play the first round. I honestly don't. And if they're the 2 seed, and if Philly could stay in that, Philly's not a regular 7 seed. They just didn't have Embiid for the whole time. They're definitely losing to the Sixers without Giannis. And even without a fully healthy Giannis, they're losing to the Sixers. Have you seen the Bucks play? They look very, very bad, even with Giannis there, and Doc Rivers just get a lot of chances. And it's just crazy when people talk about Doc Rivers, they get so sensitive, like, oh, he won that ring. That Boston Celtics team, I swear to God, you would think they won like four rings in a row. Yeah, I swear. And Doc Rivers is getting a lot of passes. Then when you say something bad about Doc Rivers, all he did that he's done a terrible job. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about losing the locker room with Adrian Griffin, but like he just lost the chemistry or whatever, the outlook of basketball that Milwaukee was working with for the last few years. Even with Coach Bud there. But losing Giannis, that's huge. Like I said, I don't think they would be in Boston anyway. They don't look good going into the playoffs. But that injury with him, he should not rush it at all. If it's another team, say like if the Bulls could get 7 or something like that, possibly, saying you could beat them. Well, but if it's Embiid or anything like that, or another tough team, they're cooked. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he should come back. I don't think he should come back that first round, to be honest with you. I hope I'm wrong, but I can see something possibly happening. And like you said, KD had 4 weeks off? And they try to rush him. It's only 2 regular season games left, and something like they'll be done.
Yeah, calf injuries are you don't want to play with them things, man. Those can lead to an Achilles very, very quickly. Tosa, man, what you think about this injury? Do you think like Michael saying that this opens the door for maybe a Sixers or another one of those bottom level teams?
Injury or not, the end of the day, the Bucks coach is Glenn Doc Rivers. So they weren't doing anything with Glenn as their coach, man. Like, no offense to Glenn. I mean, like, Glenn reminds me of Marvin. What's the Bengals' old coach again?
Marvin Lewis.
Yes, he reminds me of Marvin Lewis. Like, that is the black privilege we need in this day and age.
Yeah.
That mid and just still getting gigs after gigs. So that's why I respect Glenn, because he can still get a job. He's not that good, but respect to you, Glenn, for still getting the bag. But at the end of the day, they weren't going to do anything with Giannis being injured or not. I think that they should definitely sit him because, like you said, Mike, that's the same thing that happened to KD, and he popped his Achilles. So I think it's just best if they just call it a season and just try to regroup next year, because it's not looking good for them with or without Giannis. So tough luck.
That would be a bold decision that I will respect, though. Like a very bold decision. Bucks fans are not like that at all, but you also got to protect your investment. And if Giannis pops his Achilles, well, what is the next couple seasons don't mean much anyway. Like, and he's not 30 yet, but he's approaching 30. He's already had a couple, injuries. So I'm with y'all. I don't think he'll sit. I would be very stunned if Milwaukee sits him. But I do think that this is just a season that's just not going nowhere. I think hiring Doc was like the last ditch effort to try to get something out of the season. And it just hasn't gone well. They went through a little stretch like after All-Star break where they won like 6 in a row, and they went back to doing the things that they do wrong. So I think I'm with y'all. I think they're cooked. Especially coming off last year, how they lost last year because Giannis got hurt and then opened up the door for Miami. This could be a situation here that maybe a team like Miami again or Philadelphia could really take advantage of, man. let's move on to our next topic. We're going to kind of go back to Minnesota just a little bit. We're going to talk about the ownership situation in Minnesota. So as we all know, Minnesota Timberwolves owner Glenn Taylor has been trying to sell off the team the last couple seasons, and 40% of the teams bought by a former Major League Baseball player. Now, big entrepreneur Alex Rodriguez and his, partnership group of trying to buy the team. They bought 40% of the team. The last year, we were trying to figure out when they were going to buy the other 60%, become full control owners. But now we're hearing over the last couple weeks that Glenn Taylor has pulled the deal because apparently, now I'm saying apparently because there's three sides to every story, but what we're hearing here is that A-Rod had different dates to match to put payments in. He never put in the remaining payments. As far as even Lou, he lost an investor, had to circle back and get another investor, and they still weren't able to make the payments. Now you have that story. You also have the story that Glenn Taylor knows that in this era of sports team sales and with this as great as the Timberwolves have been this year, that he can make another $1 billion to $2 billion on top of what he was already going to make if he decides to put the team off the market and put them back on the market later on. So now you're kind of having like the war of words between both parties. And now Glenn Taylor's camp is coming out and saying that A-Rod had a plan to cut payroll when he became full owner, and that would take away their chances to continue to compete for an NBA championship. And you got A-Rod's side saying that, that Glenn Taylor has, broken promises and things like that. I'll say this from what I know about the situation. I do think this is a situation where both sides, there is a little truth in it. I do believe that Glenn Taylor is trying to run games. We're trying to get a little bit more money. Like I said earlier, 16 million. I don't care how much money you make. 16 million is 16 million. I also don't care how much of a billionaire you are. If I can get another $1 billion to $2 billion off a sale, I'm gonna do that. But I also feel like obviously A-Rod has not made these payments. So I feel like if you'd have made these payments, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But I do feel like this is something that's going to drag on for a long time. A-Rod still is a part owner of the team. He still owns 40% of the team. And I just don't see him dropping this situation, especially with such well of a businessman that A-Rod has been post-retirement. Dante, what you feel about this whole situation? Are you leaning on either particular side of this debate, or what are you taking from this?
I think it's Glenn Taylor realizing that he sold before his investment really materialized his best value. And now, like you said, when you have a player like Anthony Edwards, who could be, like you said, arguably the face of the league, you have a team that's about to go to the playoffs as a top seed and really contend for a title and has been set up to contend for a long time. He knows that the value is up based on when he chose to sell. So I think it's just a typical shady guy doing what he's been doing since he's been the owner of the Timberwolves. This is nothing new. KG told us about this guy. We've had, numerous instances where he's, poked in and done stuff that's just like, why are you doing this? And so I think this is just, Taylor being Taylor. It is what it is. And unfortunately for A-Rod, like they said, he did a lot to get this money. And we know A-Rod's reputation in sports and the way people talk about A-Rod. But apparently, he's pretty much brought rebuttal with, hey, this guy's basically trying to tank the team. Like, he knows that they're good and that them being good has raised their value. So, but A-Rod is saying, the opposite. He's pretty much trying to like tank it. He's trying to cut payroll, all type of shit. And so now they're gonna battle on that. But I think, I'm not shocked as far as being on anybody's side. Shit, they gonna be rich, win or lose, no matter what happens. So I'm not on nobody's side, but this is just more from the playbook of Glenn Taylor. The people shouldn't be shocked.
Mike, I don't know how much you've been following this situation, but what's your take on this battle for the Wolves?
Man, he should be happy somebody want to purchase the Wolves. It's like I think the Wolves are one of 4 or 5 NBA teams that never even been to an NBA Finals. Isn't he supposed to purchase the Minnesota Lynx too?
Yep.
Is that part of the deal? Yeah. See, oh my God. Like, that's like, come on, like, be happy somebody want to take you up on that offer, my guy. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's the fucking Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, there's people already now saying, "Ain't got to get out of there." Like, my man just started with 3 seasons, and they already said, "Man, they can't wait to Ant leave there." So you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. You're not a big market team. I'm pretty sure it's a Vikings town or maybe a Twins town. I don't know, but he should just be guy. I agree with you, Scott. I think it could have been both ways. I believe A-Rod could not been, giving those payments up. But also, yeah, the guy tried to finesse, like, oh man, I got Anthony Edwards, you guys always shooting now, we're doing good, we got a nice team. If I could get an extra, a little more sauce on it, I would. And and as a business person, you're doing a handshake, and it's like, oh, but you said this, oh, things change. And that's so you always get everything in writing. If this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to be. If this is how much you're going to sell it for, you can't really just up the price because you want to up the price. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Who else coming in trying to buy it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, this might be your only person that has the money like this. Say, yeah, I want to sit up here. Oh, I want to buy the fucking Minnesota Timberwolves. Like, yeah, no one says no one with fucking money.
Yeah, and that A-Rod really wanted, because this nigga moved to Minnesota. Like, this nigga from Miami, he still lives in Miami, got a crib in New York. This nigga moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota.
A-Rod, when he under pressure, man, he do a lot of stupid shit. Like, hey, he said when he signed that first contract, he said, oh, I got to take steroids. Like, that's the stupidest shit in the world. But, go ahead. That's their story.
This is a nigga who tried to knock a nigga over at first base in Game 7 against the Red Sox, and then tried to act like he didn't knock the ball out because it was pressure. But Tosa, what do you feel about this situation, man, with A-Rod and Glenn Taylor?
Just when the Timberwolves are getting right, they got some shit going on for them. They can never, ever get something right. They also need some new jerseys too. Them shit stink. But I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is just rich people's problems, man. They ain't got nothing to do with me. They too rich for me anyway. They all gonna be all right at the end of the day. It's just a couple $1 million they had going over. They all gonna be all right. But yeah, I mean, I just hope for their sake that if whoever buys it, the Ant is still there, because that kid is electrifying. So, they're gonna figure out. I mean, not that many people really want to buy the Timberwolves. Not that many people want to move to Minneapolis and live out there to take care of that team. So, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I still feel that something's gonna happen that's got nothing to do with us. So a bunch of money that they won't get fixed at the end of the day.
Definitely. And I went to Minneapolis for the first time this past year, and I'm three of us from Chicago. Like, it's very cold here, nigga. But Minnesota cold is just another level of cold, bro. Like,
I just want to know how Somalis took over that whole entire city, bro. Like, how do y'all come from there?
Bro, that's what I want to know too. That's what I want to know. Who said we gonna settle in Minneapolis, bro? Like, it was so cold. It took me 24 hours to warm up, bro. Like,
that's why they got the skywalks.
Yeah,
the skyscrapers are connecting this shit. Like,
yeah, and they got that, the big old Viking stadium. Like, you're trying to walk around that, trying to find the media entrance when it's 2 degrees outside. It's not fun. To say the least, man. But let's move on to our last topic before we bring in cousin Dan Fridays, which should be entertaining. As Mike says, I hate Dan. I know that's coming real soon. but the NFL, man, we just talked about earlier with the NBA and what they did do and how their regular season isn't as entertaining. And it feels like the NFL's regular season is getting more entertaining. And the news came out a couple months ago that the NFL will be doing a game in Brazil to add on top of all the other international games they've got. Of course, they're gonna have all the London slate. The Bears we playing there at Tottenham Stadium, which I'm very much looking forward to going to that game. And then there's also going to be, of course, the 2 Germany games, and now you're having the Brazil game. This is the first NFL Friday night game in 50 years. Will be on Amazon Prime, and it will be the Green Bay Packers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. To me, this is just the first step in the beginning of even more NFL takeover. Obviously, there's rules that prevent the NFL from actually having a Friday night football because of some agreement that they have, dating 30, 40 years back that they can't compete with college football. I'm not high school football on a Friday. But I see a world within the next 5 years where we're gonna have a Tuesday night football, Wednesday night football. We already got Thursday night, and basically after Thanksgiving, it's Saturday night football for the rest of the season. Well, I feel like you're gonna have nights where you having at least football 4 to 5 nights out the week, and I feel like this is just the first step, and maybe even something we see in the international division. I know there's been a lot of question marks about how that'll actually work. travel wise. But if you have a division with four expansion teams in that division, you have teams fly out, maybe they stay out there for a month and they only play those division teams. I feel like that there will be a way to get around that. Now, from the actual player health perspective, this is not good. And I might sound a little heartless here, but y'all knew what Drake, y'all know what it was when you signed up. Like, you knew what time it was. Like, I'm not the one who's making you play with, in potential CTE off. But for my personal entertainment, I love it. More football, the better for me. And I just feel like this is going to be something where the NFL is going to continue to grow and going to continue to grow. And it's going to be something that's going to be unstoppable. We saw the playoff game this past playoffs where everybody was mad that while we having a playoff game on a streaming network, and Peacock broke streaming records. And now we know Peacock has another playoff game this year, and Amazon Prime is going to have a playoff game again. I'm not saying the Super Bowl will be on streaming anytime soon, but it would not shock me if in the next 10 years we have a Super Bowl on a streaming service. Just even look at, what's going on with other streaming services with more NFL content. So you add that with the international games and the extra games. I think what this means for the NFL that there's no ceiling here for them. The growth is just going to be tremendous. Dante, what you think about this Brazil game and what this means for future expansion for the NFL?
Just another great business move by the NFL. The NFL doesn't have the luxury of the Olympics to help, make their sport more popular. So, with basketball, you had the dream team and they went to these other countries. And as a result, you saw how that game grew. So with the NFL, they're doing it themselves. And these showcases across the globe are a way to do that. We had NFL Europe, and as somebody who, and shout out to Kyle in the chat, we went when the Bears played in London in 2019, and that was a great experience, bro. Just off being in the stadium, being in pubs, pub crawling, and everybody got jerseys on, half of them. They like football, but they don't have a team because there's no teams over there. But you see the influence, and it's actually, with the popularity of soccer, with the popularity of rugby. They have an opportunity to convert some people over to football players. And I think you'll start seeing more of that. And then that way you can start your, leagues in whatever countries you want to start. And you can actually have homegrown talent as opposed to forcing these Americans to say, hey, leave your life, leave your livelihood, go over here, and you got to live there. So, but I think more than anything, it's just, like I said, another way for them to grow the game. And Roger Goodell has put on a masterclass. There's a reason he gets like 30-some million a year. Like he's great at what he does.
Yeah, not only that, like you said with the last time you had when you was in London for the 2019 game and that was a team with Mr. Trubisky. Like I feel first of all, the Bears are already a massive international team because of the 85
Bear fans. Yeah. There's a lot of Bear fans over there.
A lot of Bear fans. I saw like last year when I forgot it wasn't even the Bears weren't even playing, but they had the cast of Ted Lasso, and like it was also there was like fans that so many Bears jackets, and the Bears weren't even playing. So you add that with the Caleb Williams factor, maybe a Marvin Harrison Jr. It's gonna be. I'm expecting to run into a ton of Bears fans when I get to London. Tosin, I'm gonna change the question a little bit if you want to use your soccer expertise here. What do you think about what the expansion of the NFL means for Brazil and for London? Do you think that there's an opportunity to grow the game even more, especially with soccer being the primary sport, their actual football out there?
NFL is a ridiculous product. Like I have family members in England who message me about the NFL. I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, why are you watching football? So football's gotten insane. I remember I went out last year to some bar in New York, and this couple from England was there, and they're like, yeah, we came here to watch a Jets game. I'm like, you did what? You left England to come to New York to watch a Jets game. I was like, fair enough, you got it. But the NFL's gotten so big. I mean, I remember y'all probably seen that Vinicius Jr. was hanging out with Justin Jefferson. I'm sure they spoke no English to each other.
Yeah,
I know Vinny don't speak that. His English isn't that strong, but the fact that you got, one of the best soccer players in the world with probably the best receiver in the league, it just shows there's so much synergy there. And like, it's starting to get to a point where it's like our cultures are blending. Like, and I think the internet has like made that a different thing now. Like where you have, regional slang is no longer the same thing. So you're starting to see other sports blend in with each other. So for me, it's cool to see. Like, and especially going down to Brazil. I mean, that's an amazing, like going to Sao Paulo, going to a place where they had a World Cup game in 2014. So it's cool to see the NFL expanding. I mean, the project keeps getting bigger every single year. I mean, we're like 13 days away from the draft, and like everybody's talking about just the draft itself. So there's a lot of fans that love the sport. And like even when the Ravens played last year in London, I was like, just a whole bunch of purple jerseys in the stadium. So yeah, the sport's getting bigger, and Roger and them know like, yo, we can just keep expanding each year and each year. So yeah, they're gonna convert a lot of like soccer fans into football fans. So yeah.
Definitely, man. Mike, man, what you think about this expansion? Do you think that we're getting closer and closer to having maybe 4 days a week of NFL football?
Man, the NFL remind me of like me when I was younger dealing with these women. You telling them that you care, but at the end of the day, you just trying to get yours. Like they've been telling us for damn near 10 years now they care about the player safety. And then okay, let's add another game. That's 17. And then 2 years later, they're like, oh, we're gonna add another game. You know, you care about their safety, the travel, and all this other stuff, but then you just add in the different locations, adding more games. It's like, yeah, you're listening to them, but you still gonna get your fucks up. You still gonna get your money worth. It just remind me of a younger me. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna expand. I do think, I honestly think football is going to be on every day besides Saturday. They can't touch Saturday. And I always said that too. I remember I'm like, okay, it's not going to be on Friday because I guess high school football, that's a big thing, in, especially down south and things like that. But Saturday will definitely be college. You can't take over that. But after like a certain time at the end of November, December, there's no college. Football will be on every day. Now, that would be the makeup of the scheduling would be kind of hard because you don't want to have somebody play Friday, then they got to play fucking Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Then, but the NFL might still make it work because they still don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're out there playing and making the money. But I personally think it's going to be Sunday through fucking Friday. Very soon, maybe in the next 5 years or so. It's going to be a game or at least one game on Sunday through Friday.
Well, as a football junkie, that is music to my ears, man. But we're gonna bring in a very popular segment on this show, Cousin Dan Fridays. Yes, that is my cousin Dan. He's my people who be asking. That's my actual cousin. People be like, is that just a name you get? No, it's my actual blood cousin. Dan, what's going on?
Hey, what up?
What's good, cousin? What's going on?
What's popping, man? I heard y'all talk about that shit, man. Shit, the NFL gonna take over, bro, and the GOAT getting ready to retire. So shit, ain't no other league fight back. It's over with.
So I'm assuming the GOAT is LeBron Raymond James is who you're talking about.
I said
Absolutely
the GOAT
correct.
is getting ready to retire, not
Okay.
the GOAT is in a fucking casino somewhere. So yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
What's wrong with you? What are we saying here?
Oh man, let's get into it, man. Let's get into your first topic, man. What you got to talk about the actual GOAT in the NFL, who doesn't play anymore? But go ahead.
I want to talk about the most successful quarterback in the NFL, not the GOAT of the NFL.
Okay.
Tom Brady, you need to stay your ass in hell. Where you at right now, bro? You need to stay your ass in hell. We seen them last few years, doggy. It don't work like that. You talking about you wouldn't be opposed to coming back. Who needs a quarterback? Every fucking team that needs a quarterback. You're not going to the Raiders. You don't want to see Mahomes. You getting your ass clapped, bro. Stay your ass in hell. I understand you bored. Your wife was fucking the yoga instructor and shit. You know what I'm saying? I get it. You don't know your family, don't know your kids and all that shit. That's not our problem, bro. We don't want to see your old ass. Stay your old ass in hell, bro. You can't help nobody like you think you can. However, if you want to go to someone in NFC North, I would love to see that for trolling purposes. But
I mean,
that's about it.
I mean, look, I put it like this. Y'all know I love Tom Brady, but I don't want to see him play either. Like at all. Like I look at first of all, I think he was just trolling because as you said, there's so many there's no open positions right now, really.
Dead ass. That nigga is bored.
Like yeah,
real shit. Real shit. He saw his son throw a football. It's like I seen him throw that ball, and it was terrible. He was like, he said, "Let me get back in the NFL. I don't want to deal with this shit." Real shit.
Don't want to go to the fucking no. Somebody said. You gonna tell Dak to grab a clipboard? Stop it.
And if he do come if he do come back, he want to come back to the perfect situation. He's not going to want to. Yeah, he's not going. You got to have an old line and some receivers.
And could you imagine his old ass trying to run right now? Like that shit's not gonna happen. Like just
He couldn't
He
run.
could never run
in
in.
his prime. He couldn't
Right.
run. So shit.
He get hit by somebody right now after a year of not playing. It's not going to be a good run whatsoever.
I'm telling you, bro. He walked into a room. He seen a man wrapping 10 toes around his wife's neck and fucking simultaneously. Someone with the ultimate amount of lumbar elasticity banging his
stupid.
wife, and that nigga was like, "Dog, he need to feel that love. I need that love again, bro." That man is miserable, bro. His wife is fucking the help. She
Tom Brady gonna see Miles. He goes see Miles Garrett coming at him, and he gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna retire again." Real shit.
Nah, I really want to see. I want to see Roquan Smith just chasing him. I need to see that for my sake. I want to see that.
Roquan, the black redneck.
Black red.
That's Malone Part 2 and shit.
Well, he didn't be Karl Malone played with little girls, but that's a whole nother conversation. That's a different conversation. Let's I want to go to the NBA real quick because you got Denver on here, but I kind of wanted your opinion on something we talked about earlier with the regular season. I think we all agree that this has been one of the most, if not the most boring regular season of all time. I don't know if we lost Dan here. I think we lost them for a minute. we gonna go back to we'll wait for him to come back in.
Tom Brady took his internet.
Tom Brady.
Right.
Brady heard him talking too much about Giselle.
Crazy at the guard. Shit like this happened, dog.
And said enough. We're taking your Wi-Fi. Did y'all see the one part in the Patriots documentary where they said that Giselle was talking crazy to Robert Kraft, was like, get that bitch ass Belichick off the team.
Yep.
He's talking. He's talking like we say she doesn't treat my Tommy like a man. Well, you don't either. Well,
the one thing about that documentary that like really impressed me was just like how annoying that team is. Like I was watching again, I was like, I hate these niggas so much.
I didn't know. I
don't know what we did or said, but my computer just immediately said
that was Tom Brady. Tom Brady was hacked into your Wi-Fi, though. He was like,
talking shit on Tom Brady internet.
He said locking, and then the screen went black. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was Brady. Yeah. Brady said enough.
That's how he wins. That motherfucker cheats and he controls the media. That's exactly how he wins, bro. That's championship right there.
Computer gate.
Or fucking cheating or some shit. That's what he does.
Computer gate. Like I was saying before the computer went off. So we were talking about something earlier about the NBA with the regular season, and we were all pretty much standing. We felt this was the most boring regular season of all time. You even said yourself, once LeBron retires this year, you're going to be kind of straight off it. Do you think the NBA product, at least regular season wise, is cooked?
Yes. The league is fucked, bro. It's over with, bro. Like, all these niggas want to do is shoot threes, and these kids, these new fans, these Gen Z motherfuckers, they actually think a three-pointer is more exciting than seeing a motherfucker slam dunk, bro. Like, it is insane to me, bro. I want to see motherfuckers do shit that I'm physically not capable of doing. That's why I always love watching NBA and shit. We all grew up on Mike seeing the high flying, which we later learned was bullshit. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you want to see, bro. Like, you want to see someone do the impossible. I don't give a fuck about a nigga shooting 1,000,000 threes. That don't excite me, bro. The league is fucking cooked. These niggas don't try. They don't play. Y'all work for the Clippers. Y'all know that. Like, stars get out. The low managing shit. Dog, LeBron's the oldest nigga in the league. The motherfucker be playing back-to-backs, bro. This nigga Kawhi literally got to 65 games and was like, I'm straight. I'm just going to chill to the playoffs. Fuck the kids, fuck the fans. I don't care. It's not a good product, bro. This shit ain't good to watch, bro. Like, you niggas don't want to go and dunk somebody. You just want to shoot threes all game? Come on, bro. That league is cooked.
Draymond was hitting threes the other day.
Draymond went 5 of 5.
Of course, he played the Lakers.
Yeah,
everybody gets the hand of God against the Lakers. That's just what it is. And then another thing, they don't have another player in the pipeline. Like, they don't have that GOAT storyline. Like, we went from Mike to Kobe to Bron. You know what I'm saying?
You don't like Wemby?
No, I mean, I love Wemby. I think he's amazing. I don't think he's like, you know what I'm saying, bro. Like,
he's just not American. He's just not American.
He's not American, yeah.
He's not American.
A, he's not American. B, he just don't have that. Okay, this was Kobe coming into the league. Like, everybody, this motherfucker Kobe went on prom with Brandy and shit, and you went to Bron. Like, the hype was 10 times what Wemby had, bro. Like we all knew,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like pandemonium. You know what I'm saying? Like
cancel that goddamn green card right now. Take that shit away.
So yeah, that lead cook, bro. Even the shit he do, it's just like, all right, this is dope. It's amazing to see you. You know what I'm saying? 7'6" motherfucker hitting the sham guard and all that. But motherfucker, I want to see. I just want to see like a 6'8", 6'9" motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Run down the lane and catch bodies, pause, and dunk on motherfuckers and all that shit, bro. That's the NBA I fell in love with. So that motherfucker, I'm like, this is cool, but you know, it ain't for me no more. So
well, I say the only American star that I feel like had, not to say that he'd be obviously like a LeBron or Kobe or Mike, obviously, but I think John Morant could have been the next star, but he likes being
kill boy.
He want to be you know,
kill boy. That motherfucker
he want to be King Von.
Yeah, he robbing motherfuckers on the weekend and shit, popping kids and shit, like somebody else that's on this panel. But with Brady, you know, it's like, damn, bro, you want to be out here being a kill boy and shit. You got all this bread, all this shit to do. He just want to wreak havoc on society just because it's fun and shit. I'm good on John Morant.
Mike, do you want to comment on these allegations?
Man, if I'm listening to this, man, I hate this nigga.
Listen to me.
Oh my
He
God.
is a super villain, bro. That man is in the back of his store. He be on inspirational videos with the Bulls and shit. He want to help the community, all this shit. It's a facade, bro. I'm talking about as soon as that store closed.
You said Mike is dude out off the shot.
He going straight to a nice neighborhood, breaking into a car. That's
Mike dude out off the shot. That's who Mike is.
Like, damn.
Oh man.
I was in the car with
Y'all
Mike,
niggas.
bro. I swear to God, we sat at a red light for like 5 minutes. Me trying to convince him not to steal a car that was parked next to us, bro. Like, Mike,
If y'all listen to this man,
bro, like,
if y'all listen to this man, let's go to Soho. Let's go to Soho. I'd rather steal a Kia, huh?
Like, listen, man, that motherfucker right there. I can take that bitch. You can drive the Jeep. You know what I'm saying? With that bitch. I'm like, bro, I don't want to do none of this, dog. I ain't about this life. Just take me to the club.
He followed behind me the other day, picking up my daughter, honking the horn. My daughter's like, who's that? I'm like, so fucking idiot, G. So fucking idiot, bro.
They said we letting drug dealers stay quiet.
I gotta see y'all the video. I was saying all types. I recorded it too. I was saying all types of crazy shit, screaming out the window and shit.
Dante be using Patreon funds. You don't see the shot of Atlanta from where he's sitting at right now.
Oh, you
this nigga got a BMF view.
my shit solid. It's okay. Ain't nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
You go to the Blue Flame. When you go to the Blue Flame, tell Alexis Dan loves her still.
Oh wow!
Exactly.
This nigga know the name.
Yeah.
But,
Yo, Tay, Dan, what do you think about what's it called, Ant
Edwards?
Yeah.
Dope, man. I fucks with Ant Edwards. I think he's nice. I think he doing a lot of shit right now that's cute that he's not gonna get away with later in his career, like crying to the refs and doing the shit he do with the refs. Like later, that shit they gonna turn on him, bro. Like that's gonna be his narrative. Like, oh yeah, crybaby. I think he cold, but honestly, I think Shea should be getting the hype that he's getting. I think Shea way colder than that nigga. He's just not. He's from Canada, you know what I'm saying? But I think SGA like way colder than.
This is a very pro-American podcast today.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, make the NBA great again.
Oh man!
But let's
Luka
go
bringing back slavery.
Luka, like forget Black History Month, nigga. Let's go to the next topic, man. You said on here you got Denver repeating now.
Yeah,
your Lakers might be having a first round, matchup against them again. What you think?
No, I mean I think Denver's repeating. I don't think anybody can. Like I watched them against Minnesota, bro, and it's just like these motherfuckers just got that switch. It's like, all right, let's finish these motherfuckers off, bro. Like this Joker is amazing, bro. And don't get me wrong, I think he can be beat. But I don't think anyone is constructed to beat them right now.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is, bro. Like that motherfucker is amazing, dog.
You just hate Jason Tatum for allowing Steph to get another ring, so you don't believe in Boston no more. That's all it is.
I don't. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yo, did y'all see what I think it was Murray was talking about Jokic? Like Jokic was like against, I think it was Gobert, and Jokic said to him, "Was like, yo, I got 43 points on you.
I got 47 points. Stop playing.
That motherfucker cold, bro.
Yeah. He's like, yo, relax. And I think the thing about Denver, as what was said on this podcast, on this show on Monday, which shout out to y'all because Pavi Pappy said a very egregious statement on Monday where
He said it to us too.
Yeah,
He said,
and
he said it in our chat.
He believes it when the 24 Nuggets remind him of the 09 Cavs.
Insane.
And everybody in my Instagram comments, I got like 200 TikTok comments.
Jamario Moon. Jamario Moon was on that roster, bro. Have you seen a Jamario Moon jump shot ever in your life?
He went on to say that Joker in the history of the NBA has done the most with less,
which is cap.
And I'm just like, bro, that motherfucker.
He just be talking.
On a Clippers fan. He hate LeBron. He don't fuck with him no more. And that's just what it is, dog. He used to
love James Harden. He used to love LeBron. He used to hate Steph. That nigga praise Steph now. Yeah, Jamario Moon. Jamario Moon. Yeah, you got
like what type of shit is that, bro?
Wasn't Jawad Williams on that team?
Yes.
It's a lot. And then he's like, Mo Williams. Mo Williams got on 10 because Chris Bosh got injured. We keep forgetting that too. But,
exactly. Month Williams. If you put his name in
Williams, like that's not even worth a conversation, bro.
If you put his name in on Twitter, it's gonna say Month. You can't even put Month.
If Jamal Murray was on that team, fucking LeBron may have won a championship with that fucking squad.
100%. Tyronn Noble. That's a name.
Tyronn Noble, G.
That's a name.
Tyronn Noble.
That's nasty.
Let's go
JJ Hickson. JJ Hickson.
No, it's not. Do you know? Remember the Cavaliers didn't want to give up JJ Hickson to get Amari Stoudemire. Remember that?
Yeah. Boy, that's some bad GM work. That's when LeBron should have been a GM. LeBron should have been LeBron GM then, because that's a bad move not to do.
JJ Hickson probably works at Trader Joe's right now. I don't know where JJ Hickson is at right now.
Okay.
I got a funny story about JJ Hickson actually.
Can you tell on air, or is it not an air story?
No, I mean, shit. It's cool. This is when niggas would lame shit. Niggas would rent hotels for New Year's and shit. So I got a hotel at was it the Waldorf or was it? Yeah, I think it was a Waldorf downtown or whatever. And it was New Year's Eve, and they was playing the Bulls. Obviously, he was on the Nuggets, and I seen Brian Shaw in the lobby and shit. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, JJ Hickson, no homo. He's not the most attractive.
JJ locked up?
No. Oh, damn, he locked up. He's not the most attractive guy. No homo. He's not the most attractive guy. We all know that. That motherfucker came off the elevator with the baddest bitch I had ever seen in my life to that point, bro. I said, damn, like, that's what it's like to get in NBA. This nigga fucking, you know what I'm saying? The girl of my dreams and shit. Just randomly in Chicago. That's probably just a Chicago bitch. Crazy, bro. But he walked off the elevator with like one of them Miami Cubana lust looking bitches, bro. It was damn, dog.
Shout out to
JJ Hickson.
Because
he got books for that one.
JJ Hickson is in prison.
He was arrested 6 years ago for home invasion.
But he's in prison.
He's in prison in Georgia.
Well, I guess that Cubana lust girl looking like a dude now. So hey,
right, you fucking somebody else. 100% shit.
He could be though.
They said he was after $100,000 in cash and entered the home with a knife.
Damn, that nigga.
That's who you want LeBron to play basketball with.
Exactly.
A fucking criminal.
That's insane, G.
Let's go on to the Celtics, man. As they said, JJ pulled a mic.
Yeah, like Mike would have went in that bitch with like a fofo bulldog or some shit. I'm telling y'all, man, he is not the one to joke with. Like, all right, I'm telling you, bro, man. That motherfucker robbed his own family. You know what I'm saying? If it came down to it.
Shut the fuck up.
We're gonna go to the Celtics, man. Mike says you only hate the Celtics because they let Steph get another ring. What you think about the Celtics' chances this year?
I don't believe the Celtics will make it to the finals. And I'm saying that I don't believe. No, it's not. I don't believe in the East like that. I don't think anybody out of the East is like actually good. Like Milwaukee is so. We're gonna see what Philly is like. But I listen. I think there's enough talent in the East. The Celtics are habitual folders. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna fold to somebody in the playoffs. We've seen it year after year. This motherfucker Jason Tatum turns into Stromae Swift when the shit is on the line, bro.
Okay.
Don't trust the motherfucker, bro. We've seen it twice. He lost to like, bro, how you lose to a fucking play-in team? Y'all supposed to be like the favorites to win it. Like, dog, I don't believe in the Celtics whatsoever. And yes, Jason Tatum was 6'10" in that series. He let fucking Andrew Wiggins lock his ass up and bust his ass on the other. I don't believe in the Celtics, bro. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck how much of a super team they got. As long as it's led by Jason Tatum, he gonna fold. He gonna average just 13 in the playoffs again.
I'm with this. Like, they should come out of the East, but like you said, I don't trust them niggas. It's like Jason Tatum has cool moves. Jason Tatum gets away with cool moves. If you like the prototypical way to play basketball, and you put together a 2K player with all the good handles and things like that, you got Jason Tatum. And everybody keeps saying, I know LeBron and JJ Redick said this, like, he's still young. Yeah, he's young, but he got into the playoffs early, bro. Like, his first Eastern Conference final was what, 6-7 years ago? It was like 2017, 2018. So you done been to all these conference finals. You done been to an NBA finals. You had no business not making it to the NBA finals last year. There's no way Miami should have won that series. There's no way that Sixers series should have been that long. And that's all on the feet of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And on top of that, I don't trust everybody saying Porzingis. Yeah, Porzingis has had a solid year, but how many times does he get hurt? Right. You got that effect. And and Joe Mazzulla's not a great coach. He's got a great roster.
You got talented roster, right?
Yeah, you got talented roster. I'm not, if it comes to other coaches in the NBA, I wouldn't be worried about him at all. So I feel like if they don't do it this year, they're never going to do it.
I mean, Jaylen Brown should just stayed on Insecure, just fighting with Issa Rae.
Yeah, exactly.
Making them SoundCloud beats and shit.
I think Boston gonna do it. I just like the whole team, and I love Drew Holiday.
Is this your Duke bias, or just because you actually think they're gonna do it?
Some of both.
Okay.
Some of both. Like I just as watching them. Don't worry, we come back next year. We come back next year. But like, just you got Jaylen Brown, even Derek White playing well. Saying nice bench. They got Porzingis. Everybody always say, "Oh, hurt." Well, he's been pretty solid this year. I think they got 4 players in the starting lineup, averaging 20 or 3 players, something like that. So
now Porzingis don't play a strenuous schedule. That motherfucker resting every other game.
I know, but like I'm telling you, man, like it's a reason why they have the best record. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why they're the best team. And I just don't see nobody beat. I'm not sure. I think it was Denver.
It was close.
They had the best record in the East last year.
Yeah, I think they got the best record overall. But I don't know. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see. You just hate that nigga.
What? I don't know what.
I don't like Jay Tatum. Dante, what you think about these Celtics, man?
I mean, like I said 10 minutes ago, they're gonna come out the East and win the NBA championship. I think.
What makes you think? Are you that confident in them?
Yeah, I am. Okay. I just think it's their time. Like flat out, I think. Last year I wasn't confident because I still, like I said, I still need to see Jason Tatum do it. He's kind of fallen into that Paul George category for me, where it's like, bro, we know what you got. We know the talent is there, but you got to do something. I was the one that was calling them.
Texting Kobe.
I was the one that was calling him cosplay Kobe because like he was just doing way too much. It was just going too far. Like
it was head ass. It was head ass. It was head ass.
Yeah, like that was too much.
Going out and losing every year.
I think they got the pieces to get it done. It's just bro
Paul George
step up.
Paul George never made it to a finals. That's here nor there.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they're in the. That's why I say Jason Tatum is, even though like you said Paul made it to the final, but I still think the fact that one thing about Paul George we always say he has everything you want in your main player, but he just don't get over that hump. He has at the end.
He has a skill set.
Yeah, his skill set is like one of those guys where it's like, all right, bro, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm very. I don't know a team that could beat them in the East, but with them it could be anybody.
Really? If Embiid get in shape and his knee holds up, Philly can clap some niggas.
Yeah, and also too, Philly, like Harden got a lot of the blame last year, but Joel Embiid was MIA in Game 7 too. Like we don't want to let him get away with murder like he.
But it's not about the talent, bro. These motherfuckers, like the Knicks, will fuck around and clap the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? Like we seen what happened last year with Miami.
Don't do because I'm like if Julius Randle, and I know Julius Randle's a gift and a curse. Like he can be good and he can be terrible. But I really feel like, especially with OG and Anobi back, that maybe
they had him. Yeah, they would be serious.
Yeah, they will have a chance to upset somebody, especially with them having a second seed.
If Julius Randle was healthy, the Knicks definitely won't go nowhere because let that nigga shoot. He just he wants to be a jump shooter. So right, he wants to be a jump shooter so bad.
He seems like he got the ultimate green light, like bro.
Man, he got a green light. Like he got a like that man got a green light like Steph, but shoot like motherfucker Draymond. Like it's nasty.
It'd be nasty.
Tosin, I want to ask you a question as somebody who's in New York. What is the pulse of New York right now heading into these playoffs? Like, I know a lot of our New York homies have been, you know, our guy Al, he own it. Niggas want Brunson to be MVP. What's the pulse of New York right now heading into
the Yankees?
I don't really leave the crib like that. But New York niggas are wild. Like they just truly believe like every year is their year, and I respect it. That level of shamelessness. That like every year is their year, and I respect it. The shamelessness is impressive. I'm like, you know what, y'all got it, 100%, y'all got it. So I mean, but this is actually a really good Knicks team. Like all bullshit aside, like Jalen Brunson he's playing different. I didn't think he was gonna be this good for them, but he's generally like impressed the shit out of me. He's really good. So yeah, I'm sure New Yorkers. I mean, like, let the Knicks. If the Knicks ever win anything, I'm gonna stay inside the house because they might.
they blowing something up.
Oh, they're gonna blow up Eric Adams' house first. That's gonna be the first place. They're blowing Eric Adams' spot the first and foremost.
Yeah, I think like the thing too about Knicks games, where I'll be saying like when you do like the crowds, like when you have the thing that stands out about like Knicks crowds compared to like Lakers crowds, like Lakers crowds had like celebrities, but New York crowd, it'd be all the New York celebrities. Like you can tell them niggas actually watch basketball. Like
Cash Cobain.
Staples Center is date night, nigga. Like a lot of niggas just there just be saying, let's go watch Brown Hoop.
Right.
Let's go out. We gonna hit a Lucky Strike after. Gonna hit up one of these spots. Hit up the Kingpin party after. Like niggas, not to say obviously Laker fans have fans, but like it's more of a go-to spot. But New Yorkers is like it's the celebrities that actually care about the sport. But let's go to your final topic, Cuzzo, man. It's about a team that's in the NFC North. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I want to see Kyler Murray on the Vikings, bro. I've been seeing the rumblings about how the Vikings could potentially, or the Cardinals, I'm sorry, could potentially trade Kyler Murray to the Vikings. And that should be dope, man, if they could make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think him and Jettas would be must-see TV. You know, I know people like Mike who thinks Caleb Williams is already a top 5 QB in the NFL.
Now you hate him. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That's crazy. First of all, I don't want to. First of all, I don't want to told you about Kyler Murray early in the year. I'm like, that would be a good trade. Second of all,
no, but now it's actually coming up. Like
I know, but of course, because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But secondly, you was all Caleb Williams. Now look. Now that we get Caleb Williams, fuck, everybody gotta have a quarterback in the motherfucking NFC North. That shit not happening, bro. You let them take it.
Let me tell you what Mike told me, bro. He told me that Caleb Williams is already better than Josh Allen. You know he hates Josh Allen.
I never said this. But go ahead. Continue.
What I asked him was, I said, Mike, you know, I had this conversation with a few people, and I'm asking y'all right now, actually. If you guys have number 1 pick, you get Caleb Williams, right? Would you trade that number 1 pick right now for Josh Allen?
No.
Would you do it? No. So you think that Caleb Williams, as a
bigger upside, now, yes.
He has a way bigger upside
than Josh fucking Allen.
Yeah, he has
the upside.
What upside? What upside?
I'm probably the biggest Josh Allen fan on this show, but Josh Allen's gonna be shot down in reality throwing the Kinko's workers this season. I don't know who that nigga throwing to. Like,
I don't. Also, you got.
How did you go from just loving Caleb to it's the Bears? The Bears. I forgot the Bears.
No, bro. All I'm saying is it's kind of crazy to say something like that, dog. Like,
bro, if Caleb was going number 2 to Washington, you would.
So you think Josh Allen would diet Debo and who the fuck y'all just get Keenan Allen. That's not.
He said diet Debo.
He can't do nothing with that.
No, I'm not saying
DJ Moore diet Debo.
I'm not saying that he's not he's obviously a better quarterback right now. I'm talking about the upside though.
What the fuck you mean upside, nigga? That's the apex that you can get to.
It's not. Patrick Mahomes is the apex. No, but that's the apex.
Let me tell you.
How do you know, Dan?
Because that's a once in a lifetime talent, nigga. You just don't that they don't just drop the motherfuckers out the sky.
I'm
No
just
one
glad
even knew about Mahomes, bro. Stop it.
I'm just glad my quarterback's dark skinned and got 2 black parents. That's all I'm happy about.
Hey, Caleb has 2 black parents, by the way. He's not.
Yeah.
Niggas be thinking Caleb mixed. He's not mixed.
Who's your quarterback? I thought you was from New York.
Don't get him started. He hate Lamar Jackson. Don't even get him.
Y'all hate
started.
Lamar? That's
I don't
crazy.
hate him. I don't hate him. I just don't like. I don't think he's like.
Lamar's better than Josh
my
Allen.
God, his 3,500 yards a season. Oh, his 3,200, and that shit don't do it for me. All the scrambling and shit. I'm sorry, bro.
What? Josh Allen does the same thing
Yeah, but he also throws for 5,000 fucking yards.
and lose and no MVPs and turns the ball
That's all
over.
you got is MVPs, but don't act like Josh Allen don't.
And he doesn't turn the ball over. G. Josh Allen just gives the ball away.
Don't turn the ball. I mean,
Not like
Lamar
Josh
Jackson don't turn
Allen.
the ball over.
Not like Josh Allen.
To be fair,
Not like Josh
to
Allen.
be fair, the Ravens season ended because that nigga threw turn the ball over.
Thank you.
The-
Like, what are you
doesn't
saying,
matter.
bro?
But he got to the championship.
This is the Kodak
Our season-
Black, and so it's okay. And that's
Our
just
season
the
ended
only
because our
fucking thing.
coaches decided to be dumbasses and not run the ball. Like we run the ball 90% of the time. They decide, you know what, you're gonna be
Now,
paying
here's
niggas.
the question: do you think that was a Lamar decision, or I want to prove these niggas I can throw? Or that was a hardball decision? We gonna prove to them.
John Harbaugh being a jackass, man.
Your franchise quarterback should be able to make his own fucking decisions. There shouldn't be a question. But because he's Lamar Jackson, it's cool. It don't matter. You know, it's cool.
Nah, I'm
He
just
listens
glad
to
we
Kodak
got.
Black. He's for the culture, and you know, I can't say anything bad about him, or I hate Dr. King if I do.
I'm
That's
just
just
glad
what
we
it
got Derrick Henry. That's all I'm happy about. Now you
What that's
definitely
gonna
can't-
do? That ain't gonna do shit. Y'all got
Now it's not. What's that going to do?
It ain't gonna
Right,
do
19
shit.
picks.
Get the
But if he would have went to the Cowboys, you would have been, oh my God, we're fucking gonna make
they
it.
would have had a solid squad. Yeah.
So
But they have a quarterback who is pass first.
He said Jerry Jones is selling his soul to get Caleb. Exactly. Like ain't nobody trade that shit.
he said,
no-
don't forget
no
about
Josh Allen.
Hey, listen.
Hey, Alex, we ain't talking about me, dog.
It's one thing to be delusional, but acting like Josh Allen, like there is no GM in the world. I feel like they would be like, "Oh yeah, give me Josh Allen." Like, what the fuck are you saying?
You're crazy in the motherfucker. That's crazy.
I
That's just
guarantee
because
More than half.
I guarantee
More
you.
than half,
if
G.
you
More than
ask
half.
Every general manager in the NFL, more than half a saying they would take.
Mind you,
Caleb's upside.
these are the same people that told me Scramble Boy was elite. He was going to be.
I'm gonna tell you, look, if
No
Caleb
one
got
told you
drafted
he
by the
was elite.
Cowboys,
Y'all
if
judgment.
Caleb got drafted by the Cowboys, you would be loving Caleb, bro.
Yes, he loves him now.
Exactly.
The Cowboys
He loves
are
him
never
now.
asked enough to like get a quarterback like that. But
You like Caleb? Do you like
y'all
Caleb?
get ready to- I mean, y'all get ready to go to the next generational quarterback. It is sad, dog. Y'all about to ruin this nigga, man. Y'all are fully expecting a 4,000-yard season, and it's
I'm
gonna
not
be crazy
expecting
to
that.
watch, dog. I'm just gonna
I'm
be like,
not
all right.
expecting that. I'm not expecting no 4,000 yard season.
That's
I'm
what
not
I was
expecting.
expecting with Scramble Boy. Shit,
I was
Why would
never
you
expecting
expect
4,000 yards. That never came out of my mouth. I've never said that
Okay.
ever.
All
But
right, brother.
as far as the actual Vikings, I do think they're going to get a quarterback. I do not think that quarterback will be Kyler Murray.
I think there's a good chance that it happens, bro. I've seen numerous analysts say that. Like that's like a real thing that could actually happen.
We're also in lying season right now because it's 2 weeks and there's really nothing else to talk about right now. So
I
niggas,
can see that too. I can
like
see
when
that.
niggas,
I
like
mean,
niggas try to
giving
make
up
you
Kyler
believe-
Murray for JJ McCarthy, you're getting fired.
Look, prime example. Last 2 weeks ago, it was Malik Neighbors is a better prospect than Marvin Harrison. Now it's we don't know if Malik Neighbors is gonna go top 10. What about the drama off the field? Niggas is looking for content. I do think they're trading up. It might be JJ McCarthy, but if the Commanders don't get Drake May, I think they might trade up for Drake May. I think that the Cardinals will trade out of the fourth spot, but I think they're gonna keep Kyler. But
Commanders
they
still
got-
get Jaden Daniels. Commanders still get Jaden Daniels. Don't be dumb.
100%.
Don't overthink it. Just go get that. There was a guy years ago in my mentions who said that the Ravens should get rid of Lamar and just go get JJ McCarthy. I hope whoever he is, I hope you're doing well because
First thing about JJ
I mean,
McCarthy,
you know, they think any tall white boy that can throw the ball is fucking Josh Allen.
yeah.
That's what they think. I mean,
And
Dak
Harbaugh
Prescott,
needs-
Kirk Cousins, same shit.
God forbid they compare him to Josh Allen. That's like poison
I mean,
in your ears.
I compare Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins, my nigga. Only one, they have a lot in common, especially getting a fucking paycheck. Them
Who would you
niggas know how to
rather
get paid.
Kirk Cousins. or
Kirk
Dak
Cousins,
Prescott?
I swear to God, it's a toss
I'll
up.
take Kirk Cousins.
It's a toss up.
I
Give me
sw-
Kirk. Though.
Give me that.
It's a toss up. It's a
Toss
toss
up.
up.
Give me
Right.
Kirk though.
When what I tell you, Mike, when Scramble Boy is holding that clipboard.
By the way,
game one of the Steelers,
Scramble Boy is Justin Fields.
Oh, I figured that out. I figured that. We gonna see that man twice a year. I can't wait to see him and Jesus Boy over there in Pittsburgh.
That nigga Russell Wilson said. Russell Wilson said, "I opened the door for black quarterbacks." So like, that's enough of you, sir.
He said that.
Yeah, he said that. He said that I opened the door for a lot of black quarterbacks. So like,
he's Dominican. What's he talking about?
Is he Warren Moon?
Wait, really?
He said that.
No, G.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
See, him and J. Cole just need to stop talking and doing whatever they need to do. Like, that shit just terrible. That's some shit J. Cole would say.
As we wrap this up, I do want Kozo, do you think Scary Hours is coming? As the leader of the OVO brigade, do you think it's coming?
Yeah, what you mean? That's not even dude. He's coming with the diss. I'm not even like worried about that part.
Okay.
At all. Like this is what I ask. This is what I ask. He's going to call him short. He's going to say he has no hoes. He's going to say he has more money than him. And when y'all act like that's not the hip hop that we grew up on, I'm coming to fucking.
No, nothing wrong. That's it in a creative way. Say it in a creative way, though.
Oh, he will. He will.
Okay, I hope so.
He will. Don't you worry about that.
So. See, Dan thinks I hate Drake. So that's what he thinks I am not a Drake fan.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not. I'm not a Drake fan. Mike, do I hate Drake?
He a Drake, but you love Kendrick. Yeah,
I've never denied that.
How did you hear that last out? Okay, all right.
I already told you that's his worst album. I've been said that. I said that's
it's one of them, one of his shitty albums. Yeah, you can add it to the list.
Do you like Future's last two albums?
So obviously I love We Don't Trust You. Part 2, like. I'm comparing it to Hendrix, right? And Hendrix was fucking amazing.
It was amazing.
And it's not living up to it thus far. Like, that motherfucker came in with My Collection, dog. I dropped to my knees and I damn near cried. That's how cold that song was. That shit was fucking beautiful, bro. So it's hard to top that. You know what I'm saying? But he got some shit on there, but it's just like, I don't know, bro. And then the second part kind of threw me off. The second, like the rap songs on there, it's a lot of throwaways. So I'm still sitting with it, but so far, the part 2, I'm kind of mad on. Like, all right, I ain't,
the wild shit is just hearing the Weeknd singing dissing Drake. That is so wild.
Crazy.
Niggas say you doing TikToks.
Yeah,
did y'all see the block TikTok? Did y'all? Yeah, what he said on Boondocks? How many? He said, what did he do to make these niggas that mad?
They keep saying he fucking they bitches, but goddamn, man, like shit.
Listen. Hey man, all I know is he about to shoot back at a lot of
I
niggas.
Want to see it. I want to see it.
Oh, you will. You will.
ASAP could have kept that shit though.
He had to. ASAP verse was tough, but he had to protect home. I felt
ASAP was rapping on there.
Yeah, it was a terrible verse.
Oh, maybe I didn't like.
It was a terrible verse.
Kendrick gonna tell Drake he biracial and got a white mother, and then we gonna get all fucked up.
Hey. Don't worry.
It's gonna come, man.
It's coming, and when it does, don't say motherfuckers ain't warned y'all. So
hey, man, I've heard that it exists. I just don't know if it's gonna drop.
So wait, it does exist though.
I heard from a reliable source, and I'm not talking obviously what Joe Budden said. I believe what Joe Budden said too, but I heard from a very reliable source that both Kendrick and Drake have disses that are very scathing.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're just waiting for. Well, Kendrick's waiting for Drake to drop it because he already got his or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Dan, let them know where they can follow you on Twitter, man.
Yeah, listen, actually, and you can follow me at Dan_Glorious on Twitter. And this is what I want to leave America with. Before I get out of here, inbox me at Dan_Glorious on Twitter. I challenge you, all the listeners, anybody in fucking America, anybody in the universe. I will pay you $1,000. You can inbox me at Dan_Glorious on Twitter. If you can send me footage of bad bitches, emphasis on bad bitches, not them bitches with the t-shirts on their head or with the fro or any of that shit. Bad bitches. If you have footage of a room full of bad bitches and they approach someone requesting them to play To Pimp a Butterfly, I will pay you $1,000.
That's never happening.
If you can send me that footage, I will pay you $1,000 at Dan_Glorious on Twitter. Hit me up. Send me the fucking footage. Y'all have a
Somebody-
good week.
King Kunta.
Somebody
You sound
gonna have
like
a party.
he sound like what's it called there, Boosie. $1,000.
King Kunta.
$1,000.
Put your pussy on.
What he say? What he say?
He said, put your pussy lips on live. I give you $1,000.
We gonna wrap this up, man. We gonna wrap this up. We got the local hour coming on Patreon in a minute. Me and Dante gonna be breaking down all of the going ons in Chicago sports. We'll be talking about Mike's Cubs. So we'll be talking about that. We're gonna talk about the possibility of the Bears trading up to get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's what's smoke around there. Like I said, it is lying season, so I'm not gonna put too much stock into it, but it's going out there from very reliable sources. People who I know who on the Bears beat with me have been reporting that he just visited Hallis Hall yesterday. And everybody says that Ryan Poles is not trading down. He has 9 picks in next year's draft, and he's trying to get an impact player today. So that's going to be interesting to see. I will say this. If April 25th happens and we walk out of there with Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr., my professionalism will leave my body at that draft covering at Hallis Hall. I'm telling you right now, I will yell explicitives in that draft room at Hallis Hall, and I might dap up Ryan Poles and call him my nigga when I see him if that happens. So let's be very clear. If I lose my credentials the next day, you know why. But Mike, as usual, always thank you for joining us. We got something special too. Me and Mike working on something dope, a new segment that we're gonna be doing that's involving pillars that we're gonna do right after the draft. So stay tuned for that.
Also, too, I got checkout code. Y'all can go to pillarsclub.co. Got 40% off. The code 40%. Is friends. So FRNDS24. FRNDS24. Use that at the checkout code on pillarsclub.co.
And you can go to the website right there at the bottom of the screen, pillarsclub.co, and you can get that code on there if you missed it. You get all that, man. You guys, they guys got a lot of great stuff you can go get. Tosa, man, always good to have you on again for the full episode, man. What you got cooking up? Anything you want to tell us about you got that you're working on?
Well, I'm back on the Shirtless Plantain show. Okay. You see that's our jersey in the back, the big pink joint. So I'm finally officially back. So we're just working on just trying to get more soccer content out there, man. So that's really just the main things we're working on. So follow us, Shirtless Plantain Show, and we be having a lot more content for y'all.
Definitely. Dante, Courtney, and Mikey are hosting a new podcast coming to the Barbers Chat Network. Of course, if you watch every Monday, you watch this segment, The Hot Corner, which is our baseball segment. They're going to be doing a full Hot Corner podcast that will be dropping probably at the beginning of next month. I know Mikey has got some stuff he's going to take care of, and then they're going to start recording. I'll be producing that. So check that out. They're going to hold y'all down all baseball season to give y'all as much baseball content as possible. And me and Dante got a special Patreon show. It's dropping next week. Info that will be dropping on Monday. We'll be dropping it on socials, and also we'll be talking about that on the beginning of the show on Monday. So look out for that. Next week, we're gonna start talking about NBA playoffs. The play-in games begin on Wednesday. So definitely getting ready to get in tune with all of that, man. So definitely appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all can follow Mike at please say the baby, please _ say the baby on Twitter and Instagram, man. Of course, you can follow Tosin on Twitter and Instagram at TSNMKND. You can follow Dante at OctoberZone on Twitter. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Barbershare Scott. Follow the Barbershare Network at Barbershare Net. Follow HMB Media at HMB Media TV on Twitter and at HMB Media on Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon because we're about to knock out that local out right now. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershare Network. Visit pillarsclub.co or visit the Instagram at pillars_club or visit any of their 3 locations in the Chicagoland area. Get on tune with a 40% sale, man. So y'all have a great weekend, and we will holler at y'all next Monday. We up out of here.